Hello, what's good and welcome. It's Rocket League time, baby. Knockout Gauntlet stage. We're in the middle of the North American Regional, number one. It's springtime. I'm F. Dot, and that, my friends, is Supersonic, and we're ready for the day. At least I am. Super. Are you ready for the day?
I am. I'm ready, and I'm gonna do a quick happy birthday shout out to Subi over on the other broadcast. It's his birthday today. I
Hey!
threw my flowery kind of patterny Subi-esque type shirt on for the day, so that's my main focus for my intro today, and I'll give it back to you off of that.
Heck yeah, Subi, the old pal up over on the other stream. So we'll see how things go out. Of course, two streams, a lot of Rocket League action coming at you. The schedule, as far as our stream is concerned, will start on the lower bracket. We're going to talk a little bit about Charlotte Phoenix going head to head against their opponent's 72 pin connector. An interesting squad who 72 PC being here alone, I think, might surprise some folks at home.
Yeah, wasn't my expectation. I wasn't expecting to see 72 PC here today. I thought that they were going to be fifth in their group there, but they do squeak on through, make it in. So they're going to be up against Charlotte Phoenix here. Charlotte Phoenix, one of the teams that has been showing up here recently. They got the new roster, Andy, Beast of Bonium, and Delta. A lot of talent there. I think this is going to be a tough fight for 72 PC, but 72 PC was showing up yesterday, so I'm looking forward to this series.
It should be a fun one. Ghost Gaming, Oxygen, Knights, XSet, and eUnited Space Station is the remainder of the lower bracket. And then, of course, the winners of these will go on to play against the losers of the upper brackets round one. And that's why our final two matches are undetermined, because we got to see who winds up on the good side of those matchups. So as we look at matchup number one here with Charlotte and 72, you were talking a fair amount of 72 pin connector, watching them kind of come out and, like I said, surprise a couple of folks here, myself included, really kind of thrown for a curveball looking at how they've stepped up, but I'm impressed. Jacob is a long-time player, definitely knows what it's like to be around a winning environment. And so with some of the other players kind of coming in here, mainly looking at Seabass, I think that this is a squad that I'm just interested to see how they approach the knockout gauntlet stage, because they normally don't make it this far.
Yeah, they normally don't, and I think my focus is actually going to go to Spider. Jacob and Seabass are kind of the two that I think that I'm seeing a bit more consistency out of, and I think for 72 PC to make that step and make it through today, I need to see Spider get integrated a little bit more into this. He had a couple off touches, some oddity to his play yesterday. Jacob and Seabass were really kind of the 1-2 punch of the team. I'd like to see that third man get involved a little bit more in some of the plays. I'm not saying Spider's necessarily fully out of it, but I didn't feel like he was fully in the game with them yesterday. So I'll be looking to him to try and unify that team, make sure that it looks like a functioning 3-man rotation. And they're going to need that against this high-powered offense of Charlotte Phoenix.
Players taking the field right about now. We'll jump in a game in just a matter of moments. Across the way from 72 PC, we've got a new Charlotte Phoenix who, Charlotte Phoenix for a long time, I think Karma's team, right? And now trying to find this new identity with Andy, Delta, and Beast of Bonium. You mentioned a high-power offense. Is that their new identity? Beast of Bonium has been a crazy force of nature. Is that where we're looking at now?
Yeah, absolutely. So Beast of Bonium's that guy that's the kind of off the wall, crazy mechanics, going to get double touches, triple touches. He's going to get things you're not expecting to see. And he'll cause some problems for defenses. Delta is a guy that when he comes up to take a shot, you need to respect the fact that he's about to hit the ball, because it's going top left or it's going top right, and it's going to be on the money time and time again. So Delta's really that clear shooter, and Andy, obviously ton of talent there. Great job typically doing his thing in the midfield, making sure that they have a good rotation and they can try and maintain that offense. The thing that ends up being an issue for them is sometimes they do get a little overzealous on offense and they leave openings in the backfield for counterattack. So watch for there to be some openings for Jacob Seabass and Spider to come through and clean it up. I called for Spider. I guess he's waking up early. He may have heard the call. He wants to make sure he's on the board, and that is exactly what he does. He's going to get the first shot over the top of Beast of Bonium. The 72 PC have the lead here early.
Just like that, game's going to start off with a bang as 72 pin connector get that one going in their direction. And looking to keep things going here on the defensive end. Transitioning out. Spider with a slow roller towards the enemy net, but one more time, bangs it. And it looks like 72 pin connector might be having a good day here as Jacob follows up and finds one. A little of a slow bouncer. Charlotte just not awake the way the 72 pin guys are.
Yeah, that defense right now on Charlotte is the weak point, and it is showing. There's a glaring issue there to kick things off. Opening 42 seconds, already down 2-0. 72 PC finding space and making use of it. Jacob going to win battle here in the midfield for the moment. And again, ball stuck in the Charlotte half. They have not been able to break out yet.
Beastabonium's got a nice shot. Double commit from Orange is good enough to keep it on the positive side for 72. Andy sends one to the sky. Spider beats out Andy in the midfield. But now it looks like Charlotte Phoenix might have a good opportunity. Scratch that. Spider clears it out. And Charlotte Phoenix struggling to get their wheels underneath them. Seem to be spinning in the mud here. As one more time they send it. Andy gets it almost past the defender. But Seabass pops up and says no way.
Yeah, this is the point where 72 PC needs to have a little bit of worry. You don't want to let Charlotte Phoenix start getting the ball downfield and get you stuck in your half. In that type of shootout, if that's the way the game starts going, where it looks like it's going their way more often, that's where the danger is. Right now, though, 72 PC is doing a great job of doing exactly what they need to do, not allowing Charlotte Phoenix out onto offense. If you can keep them, the defense is the weak point. If you can keep them stuck, you're going to have a good series, and that should be their focus throughout the series, is to just try and sustain pressure offensively.
You know, this last minute or so has looked a lot different for Charlotte Phoenix. They've really stepped up on the defensive end, and here are a couple of good shots just defended better by 72 PC. You know, Jason, I think if this was a one-goal game, I would not really be too concerned for Charlotte with the way they picked it up.
Yeah.
But with half a game to go here, 2 goals to climb, I'm not so comfortable. I don't think it's out of reach by any stretch, but I'm not comfortable. Another good shot from Delta, blocked on the other side. Good angle here. Ooh. And Andy gets credit for the own goal of 72 pin.
Yeah, tough situation here for Spider. That one pinches. He was already going to travel out. He was expecting it to be a hit against the wall and then blast across the field. Didn't read the angle, actually comes straight at net, and he has to try and swing that momentum back towards net. Just can't get there in time. Now, Charlotte Phoenix is back in it. I was very much with you in the sense of with a 2-0 lead, it feels pretty good for 72 PC. You can feel good. You can get out there. You can try and make plays. You can go for what you want because you've got that insurance goal. Now you have to worry a little bit because if you're in a shootout battle against Charlotte Phoenix, I think Charlotte Phoenix takes it against 72 PC.
That is yet to be determined. Our players, definitely high-powered offense. That was the phrase you used. I'm not going to disagree with it. Beastabonium is a beast. A bony, you know, there it is. So 72, on the other hand, I feel like they don't score prior to today and yesterday. I would say they don't score as cleanly as that. Beastabonium with a beautiful knock on in off of the assist all the way from downtown via Delta.
This is one of the things that you see a lot, too, from this Charlotte Phoenix squad. This team, they really do like those infield passes. Typically, you see them a bit higher in the air, and Delta's the one coming in and just bombing the ball on net. Beastabonium, Andy, though, every single player on the team able to do that. So keep an eye out. Expect to see more of that throughout the series. Delta here, he's going to try and bring one solo over
Looking
Spider.
Pretty.
Can't get it past Seabass, though. That secondary defender's there to knock that one away.
Important play there from 72. Seabass making sure to just provide the fundamentals. Charlotte Phoenix getting lucky there with a misread double tap on the other side. 1 minute remaining, game tied at 2. Jacob with possession on the right-hand side, snatched away by Delta. Here comes Spider. Double team here, looking for the double tap. Another wrong angle. And Seabass takes a shot after the fact, blocked by Delta, turned into transition. Beastabonium gets denied. And Andy here, looking for a shot. Off the top end comes Delta, can't find the redirect, and off on the races.
one of the things to watch for, and really, I'm not sure if other teams have noticed, maybe I'm screwing with 72 PC here, but when they're on defense, a lot of the time they like to have all three back. That gives you the chance to go ahead and steal a corner or guarantee that you're winning the mid boost and making great use of that. That could be an issue for them. They need to find a way to get somebody forward to make sure in those defensive rotations that they're winning some mid boost and they have boost to work with. Beastabonium on target, right over the top, and he's going to score 3-2. Only 6 seconds left here. Charlotte Phoenix make a comeback after being down 2-0 to kick things off.
Great call here. You know, Delta just says, Beast, you ready? Jumps up for it, puts it in. 6 seconds on the clock. 72 have to win the kickoff, and they do. Seabass goes to follow up, but Delta grounds it. And now we're in the keep it up phase. Spider off the wall. Delta sends it. Beast will kill it. Charlotte Phoenix takes game one.
Not how I thought it was going when they went down 2-0 to kick things off, but Charlotte Phoenix make in-game adjustments. A lot of times we see it happen from game to game, not in the middle of the series. They make great adjustment right around 3 minutes in, and from that point started battling back, clawing their way back into it, eventually taking it at that goal with 6 seconds left. Charlotte Phoenix are now up 1-0 in the series. Great turnaround. A lot of energy behind Charlotte Phoenix now. 72 PC need to be worried. They're going to need to do a change, and I think that they need to make the change now. You can't wait for the game 3 change up to try and reverse sweep. You need to make sure that you go 1-1 in the series here. I think that if Charlotte Phoenix takes down this game, I think we get into the third. I think it becomes a 3-0 sweep. I think it starts getting out of hand.
Oh, okay. Big plans here. You know, so Group B was where 72 Pin Connector came at him. They beat out Alpine Esports, you know, and eUnited, Susquehanna, and Envy are in that group as well. And really the way 72 Pin found their win against Alpine was off of the fact that they played good really early and Alpine never adjusted. Yeah. Charlotte Phoenix here did what Alpine didn't do, and I'm wondering if 72 have that second gear. They come out and they have played much better ball than we've seen them play pretty much all 2020. I've really been impressed with what Jacob's been doing in this region. Yeah. But when the other team has reacted, now we need to see that secondary. And I'm with you. I need to see it here in game number 2, because if it doesn't show up, I'm not sure if it's there. That said, our first minute of gameplay, possession is largely belonged to no one. Spider with a carry towards the net, takes it all the way, and Andy denies. Seabass with the double tap, also denied by 72.
Spider gonna go ahead and take that one out over Andy. Good decision there. And you know, you're talking about Jacob, and I think that Jacob is the guy that's kind of stepped up on 72 PC. We've seen, you know, he's had a long career. He's had some up moments, he's had some down moments. I think he's currently on an upturn. His shots have been looking good. When he's able to take shots from midfield, he has a lot of power, he has a lot of accuracy, and those tend to be where they get the defense broken up, right? Maybe he doesn't score, but he puts a shot on target to the point that they have to dive for it, and a lot of the times ends up being a soft save and allows the secondary to come in and finish. And I think that Jacob is a huge piece of the 72 PC offense.
He has to be. You know, that veterancy has to be more than just a tag on your Liquipedia. You've got to actually bring something with it, and he does. He certainly has been a sort of guiding light, it seems like, here, as a nice bounce works in Charlotte's favor. Seabass beats the races. Delta can't get the power behind the redirect, and instead just kind of hands it over to the orange team. Midfield. Spider picks it up off of a drop from Andy, but it's Beastabonium that winds up on the good side. Off the ceiling, out of the corner. And both of these teams are really struggling to find something here, Super. Rather slow play, not intentionally, just neither team with a great look. But Seabass starts things popping for the pin connectors and just puts it in. Right. With some help.
Beastabonium.
It's going in without Beastabonium's help, but yeah, sure.
I think it was close. I think it could have barred down and out. It was close, but Beastabonium wanted to make sure that a goal happened at some point in this game. Puts it in on his own net. You know, a lot of the play has been pass play between the two. I want to go back to what you were talking about before the goal, and you're saying, you know, not a lot happening one way or the other. They're both playing wide rotation, so you can see the passing lane, right? It's not a quick pass. It's something that you know is coming.
Right.
You can see the play develop. So both teams have just kind of been jamming those up. Really, that goal came off of a double whiff, right? Beastabonium whiffed on the backboard. I think it was Andy came off the backboard from the crossbar. He missed as well. And then Beastabonium gave a little bit of support. So there was a lot that went wrong on the side of Charlotte Phoenix for that one to go in. I mean, three mistakes in a second and a half. So I think that we're going to end up seeing more of this kind of wide rotational play until one of these teams decides to speed it up.
3 mistakes in a second and a half. That's the story of most Rocket League games. Caught up here on the right-hand side. Beastabonium ground passes. The give and go. Beastabonium equalizes with a fantastic 1 and 2.
I think it was going in either way, but Beastabonium goes ahead and puts the money on it. He wants all the goals this game. Doesn't matter which net it's going in. They're all his. You can't take them away from him.
Beautiful stuff. That's the type of stuff you expect out of Beastabonium. A lot of high goal, a lot of high percentage shots.
Yeah.
As he takes the right lane up the field, 1 versus 2. Seabass will grab it on the other side, and a big clump of Charlotte Phoenix players here. Big wide pass to Delta, who does nothing with it. But Blue will keep the ball. Beastabonium passes down to Andy, blocked by Seabass. But guess who's coming home? A second for the team, a third for the man. Aha. Beastabonium puts his team up 1.
Do we call it a hat trick? I guess it doesn't show statistically, so I guess I say no. It hasn't given it to him, but it's right on the line. He's almost there. He might get it. He's got time on the clock.
Remember those visors, you know, that didn't have the top of the hat? That's what he's wearing right now. You know, he's got the Yankee. He's got the Yankee with no brim. Okay, it's 2/3 of the hat.
Too. It's the clear one too, so you can play some poker and look down and still look up and see through it.
Oh man, another good carry from
Andy. Oh, the miss. Spider able to get there and make the save. A little bit of chaos there on the back line for 72 PC. And again, Charlotte Phoenix really been able to answer back against 72 PC here. They need something now. Again, if they go down here 2-0, I don't know that they can make the comeback in game 3.
Well, Jacob will back pass,
nice
which
pass.
looks to have gone the other way. The double tap, unsuccessful. Secondary shot opportunity, also unsuccessful. Last sequence of regulation. Seabass bringing it up the left-hand side, slows it down, giving Delta a trick here. Jacob keeps it up. Spider going to continue. Needs some help. Not going to come from Beastabonium this time. And Charlotte Phoenix on match point.
Yeah, that opportunity went a little bit sideways for them there. Really what Seabass wanted, going to that sidewall rather than trying to pop it up in the midfield. He had 2 chances there, right? Ball comes to him at the 0 second. He can either pop it up high in the mid, hope that Jacob's back there to come forward, or he can go for the sidewall. He goes for the sidewall to try and make a carry play, but misses the boost. Barely, that mid boost. Had he caught that mid boost, he would have beat the other player to the ball. That may have been an opportunity because the defense hadn't set themselves yet. He could have had something. That miss on the boost, I know the second he missed it, the overwhelming feeling of just bad that washed through his body in that moment. The ripple effect.
We've got a couple of close games, in all honesty, watching these two teams, which I think should be expected. Charlotte taking the larger step forward, I think, doesn't come as a surprise to hardcore Rocket League fans. But 72 Pin Connector has really stepped up this regional, and it's been impressive. So we'll jump into game 3, and I won't be surprised if we jump into game 4 later on. But for now, that's up to Charlotte Phoenix and 72 Pin Connector to decide here. Spider sends one, and Andy routinely refutes it. Jacob, on the other hand, stalling in the corner, trying to set up Seabass, but the ball finds a weird angle. Spider with the carry over the teammate, and Andy sends it back towards mid. A clear, not quite. Yes, for Blue.
There's a bit more intent here from 72 PC to kick off this opening 40 seconds. You saw them go for a couple, like 2 players at a time, cutting rotation to try and make plays on that ball that was up in the air. You can see a little bit more intent from the sidewall too, a little bit more patience when they had that, Spider had that jump off the sidewall to get out and block that touch. There is a few changes here. We'll see if this ends up working out for them. They need something here. Delta off the mark, not normal from him. Usually he's going to sink that one and put it away. Instant transitional goal as all 3 players of Charlotte Phoenix committed too far forward, and this is one of their weak points, and that might be the way that 72 PC needs to play this. 2 men back, make sure you have somebody on defense that's somewhere out in the midfield and get quick transitional goals. That's really the weak point of the Charlotte Phoenix defense, is that they're typically so much on offense that the defense isn't home.
That's what I really liked about the positioning from Jacob, was he was sitting halfway. He could go up or down the field, knew which direction. Andy this time around to Beastabonium. A nice shot, but 2 players on defense, and honestly, the double commit looked to be necessary.
100%.
Beastabonium working to keep it here on this offensive side, and Andy will help. Spider with a shove, but Delta continues to keep it in the blue team's possession. Charlotte just keeps sending it with no real purpose, but they know that they don't want to play that high pressure offense that 72 pin just brought to them. So they just keep booming it on out.
It's something that they do a lot. They want the ball down in the end. They're comfortable with the fact that they think that they're the faster team, and I think that at the end of it, their offense is a faster offense than 72 PC, and they want to play that shootout with you. They want to get the ball down in your end and then just attack it over and over again. These are moments you need to worry about where they're able to start getting these through the midfield with these passing plays. Delta almost has the double touch off the back wall, couldn't quite get there, and Seabass will go ahead and clear that one out. Miss from Beastabonium. Transitional goal opportunity here up against Delta. Seabass can't get it around him, though, and that one's saved away.
Nice block from behind there by Charlotte on the transition. And now Spider going to send it towards mid, but Delta's the recipient, not a fellow teammate. Beastabonium setting up Andy right towards the left-hand side. And Delta finds the hole on the right-hand side. Nice recovery from a really strong shot that just barely missed.
That decision from Andy, I don't even think he wanted that shot. I think that he decided that he couldn't. There's 3 defenders there. He goes ahead, shoots it just underneath the 2 that commit onto the wall, forces the other one into an awkward situation because he's expecting, I've just sent 2 guys. They've got to get this touch, right? They don't. He's awkward, and Delta, like I said, that man is a sniper, finds that hole on the right side, puts it right where it needs to go. I did say he likes to put it upper 90s. He goes for the lower that time, but it works out. 1-1 now. Charlotte Phoenix, 72 PC, game 3 in one that 72 PC absolutely needs the win.
Great word choice there, Super Sniper, because the accuracy of
Spider.
that play is what did it for me. Spider with an offensive angle. And Charlotte were offended. So they say no way. So we're tied at 1 here with $1:20 to go, just about. And a good demo, setting up what could be a nice shot from Jacob, but Andy with a hand in the face. And now Spider's going to keep it on this side. Urging a game 4, and Beastabonium doing his best to say no. Double commit from 72, blocks the first time. Jacob blocks the second time. Delta sending a third, but a slow one. And so the 60-second warning, and Seabass looking for the clear with help from Spider, sends it all the way home. Andy is there, slams the door.
Delta, good pass forward, looking for Andy. Can't get enough on it to get it towards net. Just decides to go ahead and corner it down, make sure it hits the ground, get a couple people to bite. Gets everyone to bite. Jacob up, able to recover off that back wall. Maintains possession, gets a bump after winning the 50. Lot of pressure here. Jacob with a back pass. Seabass with an opportunity up against Andy by himself, looking for the double tap. Too wide, can't get it.
Think there, you got to trust a teammate. Spider, he will have a second chance. Blocked by Beastabonium. Seabass pops it high. Takes his own pop for the double tap, but can't find the angle. It bounces directly down, and we're still tied all the way at 1. Last few seconds of regulation. Spider heading towards the net. And Andy gonna make sure it hits the ground. We're going to overtime here. Our first OT of the series. And again, this is match point for Charlotte Phoenix. 72 pin playing for their life. Since we're on the lower bracket, they only have one loss here.
Andy with a great cut in. Seabass does get the read. Delta would have had that shot wide, but it gets read by Spider. And a lot of chaos so far here on the 72 PC line. Looks like they should be able to break out here finally as Spider trying to get around Beast of Bonium with a good pass over. That ball will be picked up, and we're going to have a little bit of volleyball match here in the midfield.
Delta with a good shot. Opportunity and then some. Charlotte Phoenix will roll on through as 72 pin fall in 3 games.
It's one of those moments where I actually had the camera up, could see you do the roll on through with your hand as you said it. Wish they could have seen it on broadcast. It looked good. You were into it. I love it. Charlotte Phoenix gets the job done in 3, able to get that momentum going forward. Delta, Andy, Beast of Bonium, they'll be moving forward. 72 PC have been on the up and up, make it a little bit further than we were expecting out of them. And I'll be looking to check them out and see how they bounce back in regional number 2.
Go ahead and win the MVP here for this one. Good stuff from everybody across the board for Charlotte. I think that's really what hit me here, was that the team in general really took this one. Nobody stood out absurdly so. Beast of Podium obviously kind of being the guy in game number 2, but that's just kind of how Beast of Podium teams do. Every once in a while, he's the guy, and you kind of thank the lucky stars for that situation. But that said, you know, that's 1 in the pocket. We've got 3 more down, and as Charlotte Phoenix moves on, they're going to play the loser of Energy versus Rogue. And the performance that we saw here from Charlotte, while enough to beat 72, I'm questioning how this next matchup might go for them.
I think that next matchup's going to be a tough. I don't think it matters which one of those they go up against. That is going to be the hardest series. If they manage to pull that off, that's the hardest series that they may play the entire tournament. So that's one that they're going to need to step up huge. What we were just watching isn't going to be enough. They're going to have to really play probably shootout. They're going to have to lean into their strengths and play full speed ahead and just try and outshoot the other team. I don't think they can beat it on a defensive play.
Well, we're 1/4 of the way through the lower bracket. We've got 3 more of those and then 2 semis after that. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Rocket League.
Welcome back into the Rocket RB's coverage of the RLCS Spring Regional Stacks alongside Supersonic for our second match in the lower bracket. And we've got a good one brewing here. Oxygen up against Ghost Gaming and Supersonic. We just saw kind of the new look Charlotte Phoenix. That roster looks pretty darn good. They're going to have a tough task with NRG coming up, I do believe, if my understanding of the bracket is right. And now we got a new look Oxygen squad, no longer in Europe, but now the former Jamal Jabari boys, signed by OXG.
Yeah, so Jamal Jabari, now OXG, going up against Ghost Gaming, Freshness, Lion Blaze, about called him Lion Blaze, and Mektos. And this one could be a series here, Stacks. This could be a back and forth. I saw the chat predictions, and it was pretty heavily favored towards Oxygen. But I think this could be a closer series than we think. I think that Freshness, Lion Blaze, and Mektos could outshoot Oxygen. I think it's going to be really heavy on the defense of both these teams to see where this one goes. I mean, especially having Ghost get that win over XSet in groups, where XSet is the one that took down Rogue, if I'm right. Did they swept through Rogue in groups, did they not?
Yes, that was one that Rogue had dropped, but didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. They still went through as the two, and well, it worked out for them all right. They just swept NRG. A lot of sweeps involved just with all the teams in that group, and we'll see if Ghost can follow suit or if they will themselves be swept by Oxygen. One thing we know is the teams in Group D, they don't play more than 3 games in a series unless it's G2 and Rogue. So who knows what's going to happen here?
Yeah, I'm not sure which way this one's gonna go. I like the underdog story. So right now, chat's leaning Oxygen. So I'm just gonna go opposite of chat and just say, I'm sorry, chat. Ghost Gaming's gonna take this one.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. Chat's usually smarter than anybody gives them credit for, as we are getting ready here for game number 1. Well,
like, you know.
Well, maybe you can put your brain power to good use. You're getting yelled at again, Supersonic.
I'm aware. I see it. It's right on cue. Hey, Super, can you ready up? No, I can't. I'm busy talking to the chat, guys.
Oh, at least you didn't join one of the teams. F dot. Anyways, we will get into game number 1 here. Oxygen and Ghost. Again, lower bracket. Only 1 life to live down here. We'll see who is up to the task with their backs against the wall, as Krasix will start off winning the kickoff, and Freshness in a real tough spot. And I think very fortunate that they weren't on top of him. And an AJ-esque save right along the crossbar forces Oxygen all the way back.
Man, this one opening up a lot quicker than the last game. Both these teams coming out with all the speed on the attack. Toasty looking to put another redirect on after the pass from LJ. Saved away those. That one did come from midfield, and I'm liking the look so far. A lot of aggression here, Stacks.
These teams, by the way, only have 1 head-to-head matchup in RLCSX. That went to, back when they were Jamal Jabari, Oxygen. But it was a 5-gamer. This will be bounced around. Lion Blaze setting one up for Mektos against Krasix, who makes the save. But Krasix's been integral to a lot that Jamal Jabari and Oxygen have done, but nobody could get back to this. It goes over LJ as Freshness, who had a phenomenal day yesterday, gets the scoring started for Ghost.
Yeah, LJ gets bumped there by Mektos a little bit as he's trying to get his flip around, and his momentum carries him out of the box away from the net. At that point, he just can't get it turned and swung back around, and that ball just floats in. So early lead here going the way of Ghost Gaming.
Freshness forced into more of a defensive role last time these two teams met. Seems like a far cry ago, back in Fall Regional 2. They have not met since. So Lion Blaze will go up the ladder here. Now Toasty. A lot of time and space to work with. He was trying to cheat for that midfield boost.
Yeah.
Somebody else will have to take it as this goes off to the corner. More possession for Oxygen, but not long-lived.
Good read there from Freshness to get up early, get big, get in the way of that. It does end up clearing back down the other way, but like seeing the use of the speed to try and create something. And Lion Blaze to Freshness, nobody back. Mektos looking for it. LJ dives into the way and makes the save.
Lion Blaze, he was trying to set up Mektos again, similar to how Ghost set up their opening goal. Now Toasty, blocked by Mekdos again. Tough for Oxygen to get anything in front of the net. They do have 4 shots on target, 3 coming out of Toasty. Krazik's looking to get involved in the act as well, but Mekdos just got a piece of that. Loose ball taken by Freshness, and that little turn there forced LJ away, and that bought Ghost all the time they needed. A demolition from LJ means absolutely nothing. They will get back downfield, but the damage has already been done. Just that one little turn in front of the net caused Oxygen to rush back on defense, and it gave Ghost all the time they needed to get boosted up and reset.
Yeah, a lot of transitional defense being played here on the side of Oxygen. You can see they really want to just get down, try and get their goals, but they're having to make these diving saves on the back end time and time again. 1 goal so far for Ghost is the only goal of the series thus far. Toasty, good pass down. Krazik's a little too far forward, though, to make any play out of that, and they'll have to get back to defense as it gets pushed downfield.
Oh, that's going to fall right to LJ, though. He's got Lion Blaze one-on-one, and Lion Blaze makes the stop. Oh, he's made so many great solo stops. He's been challenged a lot throughout this whole tournament, not just in this game, but all throughout yesterday, and he was up to the task more often than not. Toasty will carry this away.
Nice
Get
touch.
hit by Lion Blaze initially, but LJ will follow. Krazix is way, way back, so Mekdos has all the time in the world to clear this out.
Yeah, that was a great touch there to try and get it down. They didn't turn it into anything, but that touch from Toasty on the side wall to be able to see both defenders, find the spot, then make the pinch on the wall to get it downfield. Like seeing that use. Freshness able to get there to block Toasty out from getting a goal. He was looking to equalize, couldn't quite get it though. Now back on defense underneath. Can't get it under that bar. Lion Blaze put the close one off the crossbar there.
Krazix does seem to be making those big boosted priorities. Got a few steals in this game, but it's not enough. Lion Blaze adds another here, and in the final minute, Ghost Gaming looked to be in the driver's seat in game 1.
Yeah, they're getting it done here so far. They're finding the holes in the defense of Oxygen. Oxygen wants to play the shootout style offense. They want to try and outshoot because the defense just isn't there, but they're not able to crack the defense so far of Ghost Gaming. They've looked a little bit more solidified, more grounded in their rotations defensively than Oxygen has.
Krazix on the near post. He at least made the save, but they didn't clear this. LJ having to work overtime just to keep it a 2-goal deficit. Now Mekdos. Almost. Freshness. Oh, I think he wanted a second touch. That forces Lion Blaze over. But, hey, any possession is good possession right now. Burning more time off the clock here. Now down to 13 seconds. And they have killed off Oxygen in game 1. Just completely cut them off from the attack, where they had so many shots on target for the first 2.5, even 3.5 minutes. Nothing doing in the final minute plus, and Ghost Gaming takes game 1.
GG's from Ghost Gaming come out as they do take down game number 1. Really, I think that this is the battle of the defenses. The offenses, both sides are playing strong. They're playing aggressive. They're looking to get shots on net. They're getting downfield. We're looking at 6 shots versus 11, or sorry, versus 9. So both teams getting shots downfield, but Ghost Gaming finding ways to break through the defense. Oxygen getting stuck there quite a bit.
I think at one point, though, the shot was 7-3 in favor of Oxygen, but the score at that point was 2-0 in favor of Ghost. That's how game 1 ends. As we look forward to game number 2, we go to Forbidden Temple to see if Ghost can keep it going or if Oxygen's going to wake up here and get something on the board against a team that has been very stingy defensively, very frustrating to play against. G2 did not run up the scoreboard on these guys at all on their path to going 4-0. Remember, they had to play 7 minutes of overtime over 2 different games just to get the big win they got over Ghost yesterday before this knockout gauntlet. They're a team that can hang with anyone, and they can be absolutely infuriating to play against. We're underway. Mekdos looking for Freshness, but he's on his way out. The timing not quite there. That was a heck of a pass out of Mekdos, who's had a great start to game 1, or game 2, as have Ghost.
What a shot here. It ends up turning into something still. Freshness just pops one high. Lion Blaze with all the boost he needs up. Redirects that one down on target. Snipes that shot, and in come the missiles to clear the field.
Ghost picking up right where they left off. They scored first. They scored last. They're the only team that scored so far in this series. See if Krazix and Oxygen can do anything about that here. Passed one, but nothing to work with. LJ will try to take over. Does seem like at times Oxygen is playing a little too far back, very disjointed from the play. So this goes back into the Oxygen corner, and the former Jamal Jabari just trying desperately to get any kind of reprieve at all. Very fortunate that Freshness didn't just make it 2-0.
A little bit of danger there as LJ's trying to find boost. It's going to leave them a hole on the defensive side, but Krazix is able to get there. You can see the panic off of that last shooting opportunity that came from Ghost, where all three players tried to bolt for the corners to try and get the boost to get out of defense, but couldn't quite get there. Shot from LJ, follow up from Toasty, just wide off the bottom corner of that left side.
This is the knockout gauntlet. You have to hit those shots. This one saved by Freshness. He pre-jumped, he guessed, and he guessed right. Oh, mercy. Here goes LJ. I mean, you know you've got Ghost on the ropes now. They're still trying to recover. They're still trying to get boost. That boost wasn't there for Lion Blaze twice. But now Mektos with a big clear. Lion still downfield, and he turned it almost into a goal. What a save out of LJ.
Yeah, this is really a boost battle here. Ghost Gaming had control throughout the start of this game and most of the last series, or the last game of the series, first game of the series, wherever I'm going with this. You know what I'm saying. They had control of that. And for a moment here, Oxygen had the boost lead. They had the control, and you could see them get down and be able to create some stuff. They're going to need to stay on top of that. I think that is the ticket for them to get out of their half and start creating some offense. They need to win this boost battle in the midfield.
Freshness skies one up to Lion Blaze, trying to play keep away from Oxygen, holding on to this 1-0 lead. Looking to expand it as they did in the final minute of game one. Now Toasty, oh, that's a giveaway, and Lion Blaze jumped in front of Freshness. Oh, Freshness had a huge drive lined up, but it turns into this on the other side. This is why you do not double commit.
You can see the chase here too. Toasty just hunting Mektos down. No opportunity for him to make any kind of play on that ball. Way too much pressure on the man. And now tied 1-1 as Oxygen puts their first goal of the series on the board.
One little lapse is all it takes, but now look at Freshness getting it right back. A challenge fastball that he blows right by Toasty.
Nice shot here from Freshness. Just a nice clean touch. Sneaks it in near post. Those are really hard to do. A lot of times you catch that post, you get the bounce out across the net. No, not this time. Finds the slot, sends it home. Immediate clapback from Ghost Gaming, and they are in the lead here once again, 2-1.
So now Toasty trying to get creative. Up against Lion Blaze. Krazix trying to clip Lion Blaze from behind as well. Just missed him. Did get the boost. Now Toasty getting a piece of that at least gives a chance for Oxygen to get downfield. Kind of take over possession. They got their first goal, but tie game was not long-lived. Freshness right back on it for Ghost. Lion Blaze after the demolition against Toasty. Nothing doing, but he did get the corner boost. Another boost deal against Oxygen, which has kind of more been Oxygen's MO, more so than Ghost in this tournament. Getting a dose of their own medicine. Mektos going to have this one lined up, and Toasty makes the save.
Yeah, good decision there from Toasty to go ahead and cut his rotation off short before going to the net. He knows he has another man back, able to try and make that quick play, had the read, got it done. LJ going to bring this one across into Lion Blaze, who has a nice little stop touch. And Freshness able to make the dive. Now, finally, GG. I was going to say GG, but Ghost Gaming gets back on defense and gets set up. I'm calling GG's way too early.
GG's only.
GG's only.
Freshness will take possession away here. All that does is slow down Oxygen. They seem to have certainly turned the corner. Toasty looking for LJ, and Mektos got in the way. He had to jump that pass, otherwise that is going to be buried in the Ghost net. Final 30 seconds. Again, this is where Ghost scored to put game 1 out of reach. Oxygen trying to hang around and get a game in this series. Tie everything up. Good intercept by Krasix, but Toasty couldn't react. Oh, the ball was right in front of him, and he just hesitated. It was too much. Final 9 seconds. Toasty with possession. A chance now to throw this across, but Krasix waited. Now he's all the way to the wing. Needs LJ in front. Got the shot off, and Ghost makes the save. Mektos keeps us out of overtime, and Ghost is 1 game away from advancing.
That was a close one there. Defense able to hold strong. Shot was on target. I think nobody was there. It may have made it across the line. It was pretty close to the ground. We won't know, but we do know currently Ghost Gaming is up 2-0 in this series. Now on match point. Oxygen back against the wall. Can they come out and get it done here, Stacks, in game 3? Can they make the changes necessary to get at least 1 game in this series?
There was a point not too long ago, I would say early winter split, where, Ghost Gaming was just kind of an also ran. They were an afterthought. There's like, okay, sure, we got Ghost, whatever. Just, sub, do you want to play? Now, all of a sudden, this Ghost team has really come on. Really, the past, I think, 6 weeks, they have looked like a much, much different team. And they're a team that, kind of like the Pioneers grew into, I think, in the fall split, they're a team you worry about when you see them across the way on the bracket, and you're seeing exactly why here. Again, they gave G2 all they could handle yesterday. Now, another battle here. They're taking the fight right to Oxygen, and whoever drops down from lower and has to go through Ghost, if they get through, they're going to have their hands full.
Yeah, Ghost is going to be one of those teams to keep an eye on throughout this split. I think you're exactly right. They have been on the up and up here. I don't know that they're quite there, the same level where we've seen version 1 kind of be on the up and up. There's a couple teams that have been making plays, but Ghost Gaming is one of those ones. Offensively, you need to keep an eye out for them. They're getting things done. They're finding ways to break through defenses, and they're playing quick, clean Rocket League, except for this moment, but they're gonna get lucky. Fresh is able to pop it out. Toasty, though, is there to finish it off. I try to commend them, and they fall apart.
Almost shades of version 1. Remember, as we've learned, every pixel's got to go across the line, as Torment learned yesterday.
My heart
finally did. And Oxygen has their first lead of this series. First time they've scored first in a game. Couldn't come at a better time, facing elimination out of the regional. Oh, that's a giveaway, though, to Lion Blaze. Toasty's got to bail them out, and he does. By the way, it would be the loser of the NV version 1 match that gets the winner here, with Championship Sunday on the line. It'll be one of the last matches we see on the day. This will be Lion Blaze over top of 1. Oh, he had the double lined up, and Toasty cut it off.
Oh, nice touch there from Freshness, too. Toasty again makes the recovery, able to get the save. Looks like he's trying to slow play this one around. Lion Blaze gets it. Freshness able to back him up, though. Makes the save. Close one there, as Ghost Gaming has to commit everybody to try and make those saves.
So the lead for Oxygen trying to expand. It's going to be Lion Blaze, though, with Mektos. Lion takes the shot, and Krasix had to be sure-handed, and was, as he makes the stop and the clear temporarily. And Toasty, boy, he's had to do a lot of work for Oxygen in this series, especially in this game, only 90 seconds old. LJ missed the big clear. It's Freshness to Mektos, and it's Krasix who bails out Oxygen this time. Tell you what, Oxygen's playing with fire, and they may get burned sooner or later. But so far, Ghosts have not been able to make them pay for the few mistakes they've made. Krasix, again, not a lot of pace, and Freshness will boom it away. One-on-one with Toasty, and Toasty at least got the ball away from Freshness. That's going to be good enough.
LJ will be able to come in, pick this one up, throw it downfield for Krasix, who has the touch. Shot on target. Freshness, though, diving save, makes the play, and Lion Blaze looking to try and get a counterattack. Won't be able to follow that one down, and ball back in possession of Oxygen.
Lion Blaze against Toasty, and oh, that's kicked away from Mektos. That's Boy, that's 2 instances at least where Ghost might have had a promising attack and a little double commit, something that either wasn't called out or called out too late, has really cost him, and it's led Oxygen back on the offensive end. Toasty with a drive, saved by Lion Blaze as it went bar down. A tricky save to make. Now Freshness found the angle, and LJ made the save.
Yeah, this one's starting to turn into a shootout. Each team taking 1 or 2 attacks, then straight back to defense, going back and forth. Almost looks like a freestyle setup. Okay, you've had your turn. All right, we'll take our turn. And back and forth. Here we go. Shot up. LJ with the touch. Oh, can't find the follow.
If we see a pogo, pinch me. Here goes Mektos for Lion Blaze. Maybe a numbers advantage, not anymore. Big demo from Krazix. Freshness will still follow it up, and Krazix made the save too. Oh, Krazix in the last 10 seconds made 2 incredible plays to keep Oxygen in front. Now Lion Blaze over Krazix this time, rather toasty.
Oh, LJ!
And LJ again bails him out. Freshness will try. Bar down, post and out. And again, Ghost on another. Finally, Freshness scores. A minute 20 to go. We got a brand new game.
Man, the amount of stands here on the defensive line, everybody having to commit, just a bunch of awkward, everyone caught off guard, and eventually that one does get punched in. Tie game as Ghost Gaming gets on the board. Freshness with the finish. Man, what a standout performance from him, too.
I know, right? Boy, he's been so good. All that hard work to keep this lead gone by the wayside. And now Oxygen's got to find another one. They may just have. Toasty had that cleared away by Lion Blaze. It was a tad high. This will be coming right back in as well. Oxygen tried to break out, but now Krazik's got to rush back after the demolition on Toasty. LJ centered, but because Krazik had to fill in more of a supporting role, he could not be forward. That goes through, but LJ doesn't quite get there.
Oh.
Good fake by Freshness, but it doesn't result in a scoring chance, as Ghost couldn't really get a shot off. Toasty redirect. That's blocked away as well by Lion Blaze. Boy, what a chaotic sequence.
This has been a chaotic game, just period, in this series. This game 3 has been intense all the way through. Freshness coming up huge multiple times on the back line for his team and getting the only goal so far. And then in this back half, since we talked about him, really Lion Blaze has come alive on the back end, making 3 diving saves.
Krazix, oh, what a read against Lion Blaze. LJ, is he going to ground it? Well, Krazik's going to try to keep this in the air. He may have got a lucky break, but it angles down, and we go to OT in game 3.
Good decision by Ghost Gaming to just go ahead and let that one touch down. Could have chosen to take possession, but dangerous situation. Just let it go to OT, play it out. Freshness, gonna go ahead and hit one. Lion Blaze, I don't know that he was ready to try and corral that ball back into play. And they're gonna have to go back on defense as Toasty leads the way. Krazix with the jump. Freshness getting pushed around. Lion Blaze, though, coming through huge once again, making a save.
If Ghost gets the next goal this series and Oxygen's regional run is all over. LJ trying to prolong their life in the tournament. Flip reset, nothing doing as he couldn't propel it netward. Now Mektos gonna have Lion Blaze streaking downfield. He got the midfield boost. And Lion will take over here. Called off Mektos. Freshness lurking at mid. Mektos just patiently waiting to play hero, and LJ cut that pass off as well. Now back the other way. Couldn't get a shot off. Lion Blaze is all over it.
Lion Blaze with another touch there, looking to create something. Demo, free ball for the moment. Toasty with the reaction, though. He's going to be the first one on it. Buys him a little bit of time. Freshness looking to go under. What a shot! What a finish! Freshness ends the series, gets the sweep with an insane goal.
LJ is watching him the whole time. He's thinking, okay, I know exactly where this is going. And Freshness, no, you don't. Not a clue. Never used the reset, instead waited till he got to ground. Beautiful. Freshness. What is it? 4 goals in the series for Ghost Gaming, including both in the critical clinching game. And now they wait to watch the end of Envy and version 1. They're in game 3 right now. They get the loser with Championship Sunday on the line. what a resurgence. And just what a surge in general from Ghost Gaming. Again, over the last 2.5 months or so, they have been phenomenal.
Yeah. And right there, you see it on screen, Freshness, MVP, absolutely. Yeah. Guy came through huge time and time again. That last goal, that one's going to replay through my head a couple times. That one's going to be there for a little while. What an absolute monster of a play in the situation that you're in, making sure that you pull something like that off. Just exactly what you want to see. Just a beautiful goal.
Well, that will do it for Oxygen in this tournament. That'll do it for us here. We got plenty more to come, though, as the Verizon 5G Ultra Cup continues here on the Rocket RB. More bottom bracket action coming your way right after this. Welcome back to the Rocket RB's coverage of the Verizon 5G Ultra Cup. Stacks alongside Dazarin now as we get set for more lower bracket action. Elimination day here in the Knockout Gauntlet. And we've got XSet and the Pittsburgh Knights. Yeah, got to be on your screen here, Daz. These are two teams that have struggled to find their place all throughout RLCSX. But a lot of points still very much on the line here as we go through the spring split.
Yeah, you talk about struggling to find their place. I mean, I feel like XSet are trying to force a new position, especially for what we saw in the group stage with them sweeping Rogue. A very incredible result from the day, or at least from yesterday. But now that we went to today, plays a nice team that I feel like a lot of us expected more from.
Yes.
Going into this spring regional, and they've also been coming up a little empty as well. I mean, just looking at their results and seeing how they did in their groups, I feel like they definitely should have put up more of a fight against NRG when they ended up playing there as well. But then also going 5 games with Oxygen and KCP, one of those in which they lost, just not really showing the strong signs from the Night Squad that we know they're capable of. And now going into this matchup against XSet, it's kind of a toss-up based on what we've seen in the past day.
You know, we've seen we've seen nothing but sweeps today as we, take a look at, all the matches upper and lower. Everything has been just 3 and out for every single match. Rogue 3-0 over NRG. And the way Rogue played during the group stage yesterday, you would not have expected that at all. And then you've got Envy 3-0 over version 1. Okay, that's a little more realistic. It's Envy after all. But to see Charlotte Phoenix just house 72GC the way they did, coming back from behind every single game, and then Ghost Gaming virtually dominant against the former Jamal Jabari, that's not something you expect. With these teams, you'd expect matches to be a lot closer, especially in the lower bracket. Knights and XSet, I think, is finally going to be a departure from the norm so far.
Yeah. I think what we're really going to see is one of these teams are going to go through, and honestly, I feel like with the momentum from this particular matchup, it's going to give a lot of teams confidence from the day, no matter which side wins here. PK again having a struggle in day 2 of groups versus XSet, who actually had a really good day 2 of groups and want to keep that momentum. A lot to play for here in this series.
You're looking at an XSet team that has averaged over 2 goals a game in this tournament, which, okay, doesn't sound like a whole lot until you consider ain't anybody averaging 3. Here goes Sosa. Closest, of course, as you would expect, being NRG. Might have just dropped down below 3 after they were beaten by Rogue. J-Pow opening up the scoring, though, for XSet. Boy, they're starting off the way you'd expect, scoring early and maybe often.
Yeah, I mean, this is an odd defensive mistake from PK. Keep in mind, it's like the first 30 seconds of their first game of the day. But still, this team's known for their defense, and that's a slip-up you don't want to see coming out in game 1.
Pittsburgh Knights come into this regional 990 points overall. There's still a good 600 or so behind G2 for that number 6 spot. But boy, did they have one heck of a winter, especially coming near the end of the 2020 calendar year. They had that summit event where they looked almost unbeatable at times. As this goes across, it's Sosa will try to start the breakdown field, only to be intercepted by Hoxer. You got to be wondering, is it the Knights' time to shine now here in the spring split? Not off to a great start here in this elimination match. There's still a lot of Rocket League to go, and especially with ZPS on the field, you're never out of it.
Yeah, ZPS definitely the player to watch here. He's had some mistakes that actually ended up leading into that first goal there for Knights. And he's looked a bit shaky on offense, but once he gets settled, he's going to be able to turn around Knights and really bring up their entire level of play. He's been a big factor of this team, but hold on, Sosa may have a chance. Nice 50, and ZPS will just play that in the space for Alpha Cap to clear out. Sosa, wait, Alpha Cap clears it right to him. That's a tied-up game.
I mean, that's just token pressure, right? It's just like, yeah, we'll just throw it to the net, see what happens. Well, if Alpha Cap's going to give you a rebound that juicy, you got to take it.
Absolutely.
Eat up, Sosa.
Absolutely. And you saw what happened too. Alpha Cap has the ball. Everyone's giving him space to get the clear. Someone from XSet either needs to follow that up, or otherwise you saw the results. Sosa quick to jump on top of it, just like J-Pow with the shot there. CPS with a save. Hoxer follow up, slots it past Rodoko, and XSet take the lead.
All right, XSet and the Pittsburgh Knights giving you an offensive explosion after we've seen some low-scoring games to start the stream here, and not a whole lot of back and forth. This is a nice little departure as we get to the 3-minute mark of game one. Still plenty of offense to go around, I'm sure.
You know,
wait for the answer from the Knights.
I was watching back because, the Rogue versus XSet match wasn't streamed. I looked over it with a couple of coaches afterwards, and I mean, one of the biggest things was Rogue gave XSet a lot of space. And what they were able to do with that space was really just be able to create so many different goal-scoring opportunities. I feel like with that, they kind of found a new style that works out for them. And now we're kind of seeing it as well, even in this game. When they get some space here in midfield, they get these consistent challenges on goal, and next thing you know, they have the lead. If they continue up with that level of play, then PK might have something to deal with. But this Pittsburgh Knights defense is so good with trying to eliminate space from teams like that. As you see, J-Pow doesn't get any time, completely bumped. So it's going to be a big clash between these two.
Rodoko able to center this ball, but nobody else was forward, and this time the token pressure doesn't really do anything. Good challenge by ZPS, though, to try and keep the attack alive. The Pittsburgh Knights looking for another response, playing from behind again against XSet. That's a great win by J-Pow. Everybody was optimistically forward. Now they got to rush back and fend off this assault from XSet. ZPS right down the middle looking for Sosa, and Alpha Cup did a great job getting to the spot at midfield and meeting him there, not letting the Knights get too far downfield and get anything on the XSet net. Maybe they don't have a choice this time. Sosa trying to get around Hoxer, and that's excellent defending, but they didn't quite get the ball out of harm's way. Now they have with that play out of Hoxer.
Oh, Alpha Cat backflip. Sosa was up so early for that, but not a threatening shot. Knights need one. We're approaching the final minute here in game one, and it's just been a consistent battle here for midfield pressure. Knights have to find a way through XSet.
I don't think XSet actually has an answer for Sosa. They're just hoping they can make somebody else beat them. Sosa couldn't get to this ball. I think he kind of panicked and worried about where that ball was going. It was close enough to the post, and XSet takes advantage.
Yeah, definitely looks like a panic there from Sosa. Backflips. Next thing you know, the net's wide open. It's just a free shot for J-Pow. Have to have more stability on the back end for the Knights as they go down by 2 with 50 seconds left in game one.
J-Pow, by the way, going up to 15 goals in the tournament with his pair here in game one, and a point-blank save against Sosa. Also taken off the field for his efforts, but not before the ball ends up downfield, courtesy of Alpha Kep and this XSet squad looking to close out game one. Again, a series both these teams have to win to continue on in this tournament. You got to win 2 down in the lower bracket to advance to Championship Sunday. ZPS didn't have the double. Sosa will serve it up there for Rodoko, and Alpha Kep just calmly guides this back across the center line, and that will just about do it. The Pittsburgh Knights are going to run out of time here, and they might be about to fall down by 3 goals anyway. Skied up, one more for the road. No, it's blocked away by Rodoko, and it doesn't matter. XSet takes game one.
For XSet, XSet fans looking at this result, that's a good game one here, but also it just shows you that they're still able to keep up the momentum that they gained yesterday. Yesterday wasn't necessarily a fluke. Keep in mind they are going to have to close out the series here, but it does show you, I mean, this team has been going through so many ups and downs over this season so far. This now shows the sign of life with this roster. I like what I've seen from game one. J-Pow especially coming out with 8 shots of his own, and Alpha Kep just kind of pulling more on the back end there with the 3 saves. It's not necessarily the highest pace Rocket League or the fastest, and they're not doing anything super mechanical, but it works. So Knights are going to have to adapt as we get ready to get into game 2.
When J-Pow's got more shots than the Pittsburgh Knights, who, let me tell you, they will throw the ball at the net. Well, something is clicking for XSet. Somebody else also has to step up and take a few shots. I don't I don't think J-Pow is going to be able to single-handedly carry XSet against this Knight squad. We'll see. Stranger things have happened. A new 5 minutes on the clock at Forbidden Temple, as J-Pow is back for the left corner boost to start things off in game 2. Hoxer for J-Pow. Might as well just get the ball in the hands of the hot hand. But it's not going to work out this time. Rodoko quickly around the corner, blocked by Alpha Cap. What a win, as XSet again forcing the issue against Pittsburgh Knights. And the Knights really struggling to get any good looks on target.
Again, you keep eyes on ZPS as he's trying to set up that quick play, and that almost got in. Hoxer to make a goal line save there. Pressure still on. J-Pow does get the clear. ZPS will play it off the back wall, but again, that's just a free lob downfield for Hoxer to make. Knights just have to be a little bit more clinical in terms of just, you know, when they get upfield on offense, keep that ball in the zone. Don't throw away possession, and definitely don't give XSet counterattack opportunities like the one we just saw.
There was a moment there where ZPS had jumped maybe a quarter of a second later. It's 1-0. Had to react after the miss out in front. Now Hoxer trying to force his way through, unable to. It'll be, oh, Hoxer just gave that ball right back to Rodoko, and it almost cost XSet dearly. Big Demolition's going to take Hoxer off the field for a moment, and Alpha Cap will keep control. Very wise decision, not just booming the ball away, and that relieves all the pressure against XSet for now.
Soft touch from Sosa in the midfield. Then he goes for the demo, and I think that may be the sign of the start of PK actually finally, you know, breaking past XSet's defense. XSet have been set on that back wall all game, all series long. Pittsburgh Knights haven't been able to actually take advantage of it at all, but maybe some demos taking someone out to play may be what they need.
High bounce for Sosa to play, but you just look at the positioning of the Knights. There is nobody else with him. Not able to commit on that play. This angles downward, and Sosa jumps in front of J-Pow, but again, the problem is nobody else was able to go anywhere near midfield. Finally, Sosa's got this clear. Needs some support with him. Got ZPS there, but took the shot, and Hoxer made the save.
Oh, Rodoko still trying to play this in. ZPS can't go for that. He sees Hoxer with the ball. That's a clear in the midfield. No pressure on offense from PK. A lot of it is just, okay, Sosa goes downfield, takes an individual shot. Oh, a miss! ZPS capitalized on it, though! And PK finally come up with a goal.
This miss throws everybody off. Sosa looking to make a nutty play, and Hoxer has to just wait that extra tick, and it's just enough. ZPS found the opening to shoot through. Knights have their first lead of the series. Can they hold on to it and tie things up here?
Right now, pressure on XSet to perform. You talked about J-Pow shots last game. He's still sitting at 0. As Hoxer's the only one with shots as he picks up his third. As you can see, XSet starting to speed up. 2 minutes left, and we're waiting to see how they respond.
Hoxer has Alpha kept downfield. The problem is they also have Rodoko and Sosa to contend with. ZPS over top of J-Powers, as you mentioned, has not had anything going offensively in this game. Point of emphasis, shut him down.
Oh.
It's working. Loose in front, and J-Pow clears this off to the corner. So, you know, the onus now on J-Pow, if they're not going to let him get going on the offensive end, got to make his contributions elsewhere. Now he'll finally get a shot on target, trying to take Sosa out. This is still loose in front. Walked away. The entirety of the Pittsburgh Knights defense just stones XSet cold on the line.
Every single person that was on XSet took a shot downfield or on the Knights net, and every single member of the Knights built a wall of defense to completely deny any opportunity of that going through. I'm a little bit concerned because I feel like just shoot it on the left side of the net. Like, there's a little bit of space there, but bad angles and good defense from PK still give them a 1-goal lead. Less than a minute remaining, and Knights have all the momentum, all the pressure, and another goal! ZPS double tap off the flip reset.
This is insane. Flip reset, double, just indirect to himself off the ceiling. This one had everything. Oh, what a play by ZPS. What a statement. made to XSet. Hey, game on here in game 2.
We said it in game 1. Watch out for ZPS, because when he gets on, the entire Knights team is elevated. He's got both goals this game. He's been able to read the field. Communication between him and his teammates is on. And I mean, sometimes you just gotta do it all by yourself. J Powell shows that he can do that too, with a nice flip reset goal into the top corner.
They've still got some life too. J Powell, what a play here. He sees Rodoko. He knows he's got to get creative to beat him. And he goes near side in the upper 90. Perfectly placed. Had a chance for XSet. After all that out of ZPS, will it be for naught? Oh, he just launches this to the backboard. Sosa cleans up. What a setup out of ZPS. This is out of a cannon.
Look at that flick. Woo! Right off the backboard, no one able to get the read. Head on a swivel. By the time they recognize Sosa's there, it's far too late. Knights gain a 2-goal lead. 23 seconds left.
ZPS out here playing a game of horse. And right now, I think XSet's on an R right now. Good grief. ZPS has been on fire. Final few seconds will tick away as ZPS and friends are going to tie up this series. Hawks are looking for just one more. Maybe they'll feel a little better about themselves. Not happening. Game 2 to the Knights decisively.
And XSet did try to get, respond there, but I mean, it was far too late. That was all Knights. For most of the game, XSet sat at 2 shots. Obviously, they ended up gaining some more towards the end. But Knights on offense, they had possession numbers, they had set opportunities, and ZPS and Sosa, the communication between those two was on another level, and XSet could not respond efficiently against it.
And the communication didn't look like it was on point really in the first half of that game at times. It certainly didn't look like it was on in game 1, but something has clicked for the Pittsburgh Knights as they transition from game 1 into the latter half of game 2. And it's something that XSet now has to find an answer for, because if they cannot stop that sort of stuff out of ZPS, they're going to have a long, miserable experience in the rest of this series. Game 3 on iconic DFH Stadium. Tiebreaker between XSet and the Pittsburgh Knights. Again, winner of this series has to win one more to move on to Championship Sunday. They'll get the loser of the FaZe, formerly Peeps, and Susquehanna Sonics match. And yes, it brings me no end to joy to say formerly known as the Peeps.
Yeah, so we'll end up maybe seeing those later. Hopefully we don't see them later.
Yeah,
And
right.
I do not
want to see the Peeps down here in the lower bracket. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, we'll see which team.
I'm completely unbiased, I promise.
He is just not, but it's fine. We'll take it. They're not playing right now, so it's okay. But one thing I do want to talk about is the level of play here. XSet have been able to make adjustments, or they've actually been able to set the tone in game 1. The real adjustment came from Pittsburgh Knights. The way that offense worked in game 2 from a team that is definitely more known from their defense. It is something that, you got to give credit to Coach Orlando for him being able to really bring this team back in. But now we're in game 3, series tied, and it's up to XSet to really see if they can respond to this new Knights, rotation that we're seeing coming out from them.
ZPS looking for Sosa across the way. Double tap on the way. Clear the runway. Now Hoxer with a great save. And another one on ZPS's follow-up attempt. Oh, great defensive stand from Hoxer to keep the Knights off the board. Remember that sequence as this game rolls on, especially if XSet's able to take a dub. Sosa again just trying to apply any pressure at all, and XSet's got to have their head on a swivel wondering exactly where he is. For all the great mechanical prowess we saw out of ZPS last game, Sosa has been a thorn in the side of XSet every time they try to move around in their own defensive end.
He's just faster. That's really what it is. He's so much more faster. Alpha kept up for that one. Almost found a top corner shot. ZPS, a long clear downfield. but Sosa's being aggressive. Right now, he's even upfield taking the XSet corner boost while Rodoko plays this one down. And it keeps XSet looking. But for Sosa, it's just all reaction based on how he wants to work. And then the fact that he has Rodoko and ZPS to help him just do that by facilitating the gameplay in the meantime just makes this PK squad on offense kind of a loose cannon.
A little surprising that we haven't seen too much physical play out of XSet. The only team with more demolitions per game up to this point, G2. We will see in action a little bit later over on the mainstream. Here's JPow. Just blocked out by ZPS. Now ZPS has Sosa downfield again, because again, of course he is. And Sosa shot this time, saved by Hoxer. Follow from Rodoko finds its way through.
Rodoko's been quiet all series until this point. He's mainly just been getting touches to keep the ball in play. But now he gets a shot, and I like that. It's a delayed touch. He knows they're going to be going for an aggressive challenge, but he turns his Octane at the right moment just so he can find that left side as well. Beautiful placement there from Rodoko.
Sosa and ZPS got it a little tied up there, going for the same corner boost, and it did not spawn for Sosa on the other side either. So he burns pretty much everything he had, hitting the ball downfield. Fortunate break for the Knights. They maintain their 1-0 advantage. Rodoko against Hoxer. Oh, who's going to take this? Finally, Rodoko and Sosa both dive in for it. Boy, that was an absolute mess. They still may get a goal out of this, which is crazy. Now they finally will have to break out and get back, as Alpha Cap will clear for XSet.
This is scary for XSet. At that last play, they were in the mercy of Pittsburgh Knights pretty much. That all had to do with just Knights being inaccurate. So now looking at this one, seeing XSet, they've been struggling playing from behind at this point. Now they need to force a goal. A minute left. They're only down by 1, but do they have it in them?
That was the 8 shots out of JPow in game 1. Not nearly as many in game 2. Only 1 to speak of in this game, as he backflips having that ball go over him, but he will make the save on Rodoko's effort. XSet escape again. How many more times are they going to? Down inside 40 seconds. JPow does have a full tank of boost to work with downfield, but Hoxer's going to hit Alpha Cap. It's along the goal line and in.
Beautiful follow-up there from Alpha Cap. An absolute laser downfield. Hoxer sauces him up. And ZPS, he wants to clear, but he only ends up killing the ball as it's on top of the crossbar. Immediate follow from Alpha Cap. No time to respond. And XSet are back in this game 3.
A wild back and forth series and maybe a back and forth finish. Now to game 3. ZPS, big time block on JPow. Sosa doesn't have anything to work with, so ZPS will take over as Rodoko circles around behind him. Awkward bounce off of this, and JPow, all he could do just to gain some semblance of control. Final seconds tick away before we get overtime. Unless Sosa has something to say about it. Hoxer skied it out there towards Rodoko, who again has not done a whole lot in this series. He's actually given it away to Kep, and this should finally drop down. It does. OT in game 3.
Overtime, game 3 between Pittsburgh Knights and XSet. To see who puts the series on match point. Sosa will send it over to the side. That's a shot from Alpha Cat! And he lands it in the perfect spot for XSet!
It only takes 9 seconds as everybody crisscrosses. Tell you what, the Knights, their spacing and their defense were not good in that game. And it finally came back to bite them at the very beginning of OT. Alpha Kep buries it, and XSet's 1 win away from staying alive.
Just under the bar. Knights defense as strong as we have, and as big as I've talked them up. The one moment where it's a shot from Cap, he finds it.
If I had $1 for every time Sosa and ZPS have crisscrossed with each other and nobody's actually gone for a ball, they just kind of both peel off at the same time, I don't think I'd have to work another day in my life. It has just been constant.
For me, it's like, I understand, especially after the game 2 victory, right? That works for you. You've been able to throw off XSet on defense with the fact that you guys are being very unpredictable. But when it comes down to clutch time and you need somebody who can make the save, you just have to make the save actually. So Alpha Cap ends up getting away with that one. XSet put the series on match point off of that shot from Cap. And next thing you know, Knights, their tournament lives at stake.
This, by the way, is where McLando makes his money, right? You're the coach. You've got to manage these guys and kind of get their heads right. Things did not go well for the Knights in that last game. You got to get them on the right track for game 4. Still very much in it. Make those adjustments game by game to try and stay alive in this tournament. And tell you what, you could do a lot worse than having Lando on your side here, as Sosa will sky this one up. Knights need a win here to force game 5. Hoxer collects on the backboard. ZPS waiting for him. So far, communication seems a lot better in the first minute out of the Knights as Rodoko jumps in front here. Sosa avoids contact. You're seeing that physical play coming out from XSet now. The play that got them here to this point. They're finally going back to the well.
Alpha Cap play out. Hoxer shot blocked away. Rodoko should be able to win that, and he does against J-Pow, so this one will roll downfield. Alpha Cap can get some control, but you're right. Different style of play coming out from XSet, being a little bit more physical as they're looking for demos and bumps upfield. They're also getting a lot more space, and I talked about it in game 1, where XSet get this space and they can really dismantle the defense. We need to see Knights a little bit more active in the midfield.
Rodoko coming on, did not get a good touch on this, so it's Sosa trying to control this. Got Rodoko across the way, ZPS trailing in behind. It'll be on ZPS to try and keep this ball in the zone, but Rodoko will get it instead. Right at J-Pow with a full canister. Picked his moment, and it did not work out. Knights defense much better here in game 4.
Yeah,
J-Pow up the ladder. This is awkward as Rodoko gonna need another couple of touches, and Hoxer keeps this in the zone. They're trying to get out of the woods, and XSet will not let them breathe. Oh, that's popped up.
That's
That actually threw out Sosa, and Alpha Cap knocks Sosa right into this clear, and then knocks him off the field.
Yeah, Sosa was able to get it clear at midfield. It was a dangerous moment there where he was last man back, but Alpha Cap bumps him into the ball, and then Sosa takes that, uses it to get it downfield. There's a demo, but Sosa can't get to the ball in time. Hoxer will 50 that in midfield, and now J-Pow will take a shot, but it's straight to ZPS, who has control.
Oh, you know, ZPS wanted that corner boost too, but instead it ends up in the hands of Alpha Cap, who also got the demolition on Rodoko. So Hoxer will take over, kept going after Rodoko again, and just narrowly missed him. Tried to get him off the respawn.
Like that delay there from ZPS to move the ball upfield, but no follow-up from the Knights, so now it goes back into mid. There's 2 minutes left here. No one's been able to score. There's a bump. ZPS can't get it through. Hoxer almost own goal, but J-Pow was able to save the day in time. Cap will play it to the side. Not out of the woods yet. Rodoko playing the 50 low. ZPS shot. Bang!
Oh, wow. What a sequence out of the Pittsburgh Knights. After that initial save, you thought, oh no. Like, there's no way this series is going to be over, right? They hung with it. Did not let the ball out of the zone. They capitalized on their advantage. And the Pittsburgh Knights are in front. They were in front last game as well. Can they hold it this time? Sosa bounces one away, and Hoxer is all over it. Dumps this back into the corner, but ZPS has everything to work with and still had his pocket picked, so Rodoko's got to boom it away.
This is so big for the Knights now. They're usually able to hold off against XSet when they have the lead. It does seem like things are finally starting to work for them on offense, but you gotta watch out. XSet aren't done just yet. Good save from Sosa as J-Pow. Oh, he almost tied that one up.
Rodoko up, down, and all around. ZPS now to the backboard, and Hoxer makes sure it's not a clean read coming off, and then Sosa taken out by Alpha Cap. Almost 4.5 demolitions a game coming into this series. XSet is finally going headhunting. ZPS taken out again. J-Pow for the lead, and ZPS makes the save, crossing in front of Sosa. Hoxer now for Alpha Cap. Skying one up there, and Sosa will clear it away. J-Pow got the midfield boost, though, and Alpha Cap takes out Rodoko again. Oh, he's been an absolute bully. Just demolitions left and right. always playing short-handed. Can the Knights hang on
There's
for
a ball.
another 30 seconds as J-Pow's shots blocked away? Hoxer will try again, but nobody in front.
Oh, Knights surviving by the skin of their teeth. There's a bump in almost every offensive drive from XSet.
Oh, they turned up
Counterattacks have been
again.
dangerous. There's a shot from Kep, but it's off. Final 10 seconds of game. Hawks are up. Rodoko with a save. Kep's gonna turn. He has the carry. 50 out. J-Pow can't reach it. Are they gonna let this one drop? Last second shot blocked. And everyone, buckle up. We're going to game 5.
Oh my goodness, I thought it was gonna happen again. Deja vu. I think it was ZPS and Sosa. They both turned off back to opposite posts, and just the sea parted for one final shot. They made the save, and we go to game 5. Oh my goodness. Hey, you know what? If nothing else, the Knights sure know how to put on a show.
You talking about that? Only 2 shots that game, both from ZPS. Everything else was just straight defense, except peppered the net. Again, nice defense. That was a prime example of it there. You know how frustrating it's got to be for XSet to literally, for the final minute, have all of that offensive pressure and still not come out with a goal. I'm talking bumps every play. Someone gets knocked out, and still either the shot's off or there's that one defender who just has a good enough read, and the clear just, I mean, it was a perfect storm of things just not going well for XSet.
One thing I love about the B stream is we actually get to read some of the chatter from the orgs themselves as they come in and watch these matches. The Knights Twitch put it far better than I ever could have. Game 3, we played better and lost. Game 4, we played worse and won. Welcome to the RLCS, where nothing makes sense and it's all made up. Sosa missed the clear, and Alpha Kep is there to punish.
There is one thing that's constant, though. If you can't get a touch off the back wall, it's pretty much going in your net. Sosa with a miss there. Alpha Kep slots in an easy goal for X as they start game 5 off with a goal.
15 seconds in. Boy, XSet off of kickoffs. They've been deadly. 9 seconds into the overtime. 15 seconds into this game. Here goes Rodoko. He has not done a lot on either end. He almost forced this through, and it goes across the goal line, but not in.
That was close, but like you said, not enough. Now they're trying again. Rodoko may have another touch here. Gets a 50 out. No follow-up there. J-Pow all on top of the ball and gets a bump on ZPS, slowing down PK to try to move upfield. They still get a bit of ground, though. So now they're going to try to see if they can get through XSet. Alpha kept on control, but Rodoko hits the 50.
I mean, Rodoko's got to be relieved that he's actually able to do anything on this field. They have had a target on him. I think Alpha Cap might not have ball cam. I think he has Rodoko cam because he is just zoned in on him every single game. Rodoko clears this away against Alpha Cap, so that's got to feel good. ZPS and Sosa waiting. Now, they didn't turn back this time, but now Alpha Cap trying to score. And Rodoko throws this downfield. He did have ZPS to his left, but behind him.
You gotta watch out. You can tell XSet got a lot of speed here. Alpha Cap being super aggressive on the ball. And like you said, also aggressive on Rodoko. Good cut from ZPS back to Sosa. Maybe? No. So we'll cut that one away. You can see the plays trying to develop here for PK, but XSet there every step of the way.
ZPS, you know he wants to control that, but he's also got Hoxer right behind him. And with as physical as XSet have been, that matters. This is cleared by Hoxer. And just that mentality too, that boy, they've gotten demo after demo after demo. You can't play slow and controlled at all. Like, you have to kind of play at a frantic pace. And if the Knights aren't able to keep that pace and get an attack going with it, they're gonna have a tough time here in the second half of game 5. ZPS now with J-Pow hovering around him. Rodoko will come in to try and take over. Got around Alpha Cap. Went into everybody. Open net. No! It went right at Hoxer, and he made the save. Now J-Pow for Alpha Cap. No way! Big turnaround for XSet.
I cannot believe XSet able to stop that shot after Rodoko almost opens up the net, and then the transition. Alpha Cap is not playing around. That's the second goal for him in game 5. He's shooting 2 for 2 as we're halfway through.
Wow. How did the Knights not score there? Oh, big bump though on Hoxer. They got a chance now. J-Pow challenges Sosa. And that deflected well enough that will end up on the Knights half of the field. Alpha Cap, oh, nice slow play, forces Sosa into action.
Man,
Boxer doesn't have his flip, but he tried.
it's really going to take a lot of magic here for PK at this point, especially after that last drive. That was the one you needed to score. Should have been a tied up game right now. It now gets away from them, but there's still a lot of time on the clock for them to create something. They really have to shake off that last goal, especially after the transition. I know it's tough, and I know I said, oh my God, that ball.
Sosa's ready to jump for this ball at midfield, and he gets knocked into Manfield. Good grief.
It's not looking easy right now. XSet are just on another level. PK, they've been able to at least get through them and get the ball to the goal line, but they have to finish. Not a lot of time left.
More time wasted by XSet. I mean, the Knights just need that one strike, and they had their opportunity. Now they've got to create another. And that's the frustrating part about, I mean, that's a 2-goal swing. You know, when you have a ball, you absolutely should score to tie this game, and instead, you find yourself down by 2. Got to break out as a team here, and they can't even get by J-Pow. They had Hawkser stuck in their net. J-Pow almost put this series away for good, but at least the window is still open. Just a crack for the Knights, but it is closing fast.
Every single time there's a clear, the ball doesn't even get to midfield. Someone from XSet's on top of it. Every moment. At this point, it's just XSet are sitting behind the midfield line like, yep, go ahead, try to clear it out. We want you to, because, again, Sosa can't get there. J-Pow plays a 50, and just like that, we've killed 30 seconds. And it's just looking grimmer and grimmer here for PK.
There's only so much boost on the field. That becomes a concern as well for the Pittsburgh Knights. They have not been able to break out of their own. This is an absolute stranglehold that XSet has put on this game. Finally, nope, didn't even get to the center line there. This is absolutely incredible out of XSet. How you close out a game, this is a textbook example as they shut down the Pittsburgh Knights and move on, one win away from Championship Sunday.
That's got to be heartbreaking. If you're a Pittsburgh Knights fan, that one hurts. You know, again, when it was a goal changes everything, and this was a prime example of it. Knights move downfield. Rodoko opens up space. Sosa comes through to take the shot, but the shot's right at someone from XSet. XSet get a clear downfield. Alpha Cap scores, and at that point forward, that was the last of Knights offense that we ended up seeing. The entire rest of the game, and I mean like pretty much the last half of the game was XSet keeping the ball on the Knights half, stopping them in midfield, and not letting them take any more shots. I mean, XSet definitely earned that win, but man, if you're a Knights fan, that one hurts.
Yeah,
Hello and welcome back to the RLCS here on Rocket Baguette. It's Verizon, the 5G Cup, and we are excited to keep on moving. We're in the lower bracket. I'm F-Dot, and that's Spaceman. How you doing, bud?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. It's been a fun day so far, looking at all the matches that we've kind of been going into. Some real crazy ones. That last one going all the way 5. Pretty intense. I know Dazarin was having a great time today.
Still is. He's in our little preview, just losing his mind. So yeah, it's been an exciting day of matches, F-Dot.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the back and forth here at the 5G Ultra Cup has been really fantastic. Charlotte Phoenix starting off the day with a clean sweep, and Ghost Gaming kind of following up, and then, like I said, the 5-game set there. But up next is eUnited versus Space Station, a really big one.
Yeah, this is essentially, I think for many fans, just in general across the board, this is a big weekend for Space Station because they did not have the most successful winter split. They get announced that they're signed to their organization for another 2 years, so we congratulate them and we're happy they have that stability. But they come out and they don't do as well as expected during the groups. They go 1-3. They only win 8 maps. They drop 9, so already a disparity. They win their first series, but after that, I thought it was just Game 5 loss to V1 and continued loss to Charlotte Phoenix Game 5. That seems to be the theme here, and then they just get blown out by newly formed FaZe Clan. So it's just been a rough start.
Well, the problem is, I mean, there might be a lot on the line here for Space Station, but I mean, they're not coming here with their full roster. Sathu is going to be subbing in today for Arsenal. He's having some issues at home, and they're going up against an eUnited team who I think is really attractive with this Dapper pickup, one of the old heads of the scene, coming back, making some noise, and really trying to make a name for himself. And I think it's pretty cool, these players that have kind of taken a step away from competitive for whatever reason. Dapper, going to school or whatnot, now back in the scene. And we saw him yesterday. This is day 2, but day 1 is a 2-day event, and Dapper's been looking good. So eUnited going to be a tall hill to climb for Space Station as we jump into game 1. So Sathu subbing in here for Arsenal. What are the things you think Space Station might lose or gain with the substitute?
Well, with Arsenal originally obviously on the roster, you have that cohesiveness as a 3-man duo, clearly, but you're also looking at his ability to be able to score quickly, as they're going to try to work to get that ball out as quickly as possible. But Arsenal, again, the shooting percentage of this entire Space Station roster is hovering around 23%, and a lot of that is contributed by Arsenal. So with him not being starting today and Sathu filling in, it doesn't mean that Sathu won't be able to contribute in that same stat column, but you are looking at a different limited number of shots because they're usually taking 8 or 9 per game. I don't expect it to be that high against eUnited.
We'll have to see. eUnited, not exactly a defensive powerhouse. Tristan and Ajax more on the offensive side, but certainly something that might come up. Reynolds with a save that didn't need to be that scary, but that's where we're at. So Space Station Gaming invading the blue side of the field. A nice setup for a mid lane trailer that never showed up. So a clear out here. And Dapper setting up no one. Reynolds off to the races. One defender here. Ajax gets bumped, but there's 2 more United members right in net waiting to deal.
And these are the type of play styles that if you're Space Station, you're going to have to utilize. Today, Reynolds bounces it over. Only 1 defender in the box, and this was all set up by about 30 seconds prior. Sathu able to recover nicely on the play, and that's Sathu's job today. Just set up Reynolds and set up Sypical for open chances, and you need to utilize that physicality because you come in with about 3.8, close to 4 demos per game. If you're Space Station Gaming, Arsenal was a heavy contributor to that, so just continue that same physicality, and for eUnited, you have to avoid the bumps to keep you on the play defensively.
We'll see if eUnited going to stick to that. Or if they run into the wall that Space Station used to be. I think Space Station's still here, absolutely, but a couple of question marks where there might not have been previously. So right now, 2 minutes down, 1 goal scored. It does belong to Space Station. Second one might have fell there, but Ajax gets in the way. Likely to see a blue team transition here coming down the road. Sathu tries to show up, but just kind of boomed out here. A little bit of a slower game than I anticipated. Is that a result of not having the starting Space Station roster here or something else?
No, I think that it's more of just a result of Space Station understanding not only the situation that this game presents, what a flip by
Right.
Tristan, and what a cleanup by Dapper, and that is how you counterattack appropriately. The hesitation from Safi leaves way to an open lane, and Tristan takes advantage. But F-Dot, to kind of get back to your question, no, I think it's just both teams, or more specifically Space Station, recognizing this is a bit of a trap game. If you don't take this series seriously, especially with what Dapper's been able to do, at least increasing the percentage of eUnited's shots on the field, leading to an open net, you have to take every advantage you can and not give away easy defensive mistakes.
That's got to fall there for Sathu. Rough stuff for the substitute. Typical with the soft catch, tries to pop it above 2. Off the backboard, Sathu beaten by Dapper. And the ball stuck in midfield. Reynolds goes again, but Tristan takes a step up. No questions asked. The 1-2 punch is deflected by Ajax. One more time in the corner. Typical forced to turn around on a bad angle. He gets demoed. Dapper coming here down the right wing. Shoved out one more time. And Blue going to keep control of it. Backboard setup for Tristan. The shot is good. Deflected off of Sathu, but it do not matter. eUnited find themselves up 1 goal.
I'm loving the counterattacks from eUnited. If you've noticed that Space Station have been spending a lot of time in the opposite end of the field, but they're not getting long clears to move out the defense from the goal line. And as soon as eUnited grabs the ball, they punch that thing downfield quickly. They waste no time on the transition, and they're getting quick shots towards the net, which makes Space Station that much more uncomfortable. Typical with another shot, but denied by Tristan to the corner. We dump this ball out. Transition still ensues, and possession goes back for eUnited. This is just great counterattack offense from eUnited.
I think they realize that despite the fact that Space Station Gaming are here with a substitute, that SSG are still forced to be reckoned with. And if they sit here and they just continuously like slow the game down and popcorn offense, they're not going to get great looks. They're not going to have the opportunity to really play these set plays that we see the top teams go, even with Sathu on the field. I mean, he's no slouch. And so they know, eUnited that is, that they have to look for these shot opportunities quickly in the manner that you're talking about, and it's been successful. Dapper taking Sipical off the field real quick. A 1-goal lead one more time for the red, white, and blue. And as time ticks down, Sipical stops this one from being a 2-goal game and keeps it within reach. Tristan left side, up high, and Dapper waiting. Doesn't get the angle he wanted to catch it with.
What a
but
challenge.
Then punched on the side. And Ajax from downtown. Yep. That's the dagger. Half a game, or half a minute rather, for Space Station to catch up by 2.
If you're SSG, you need to clean up this indecisiveness. That comes through whether you're clearing on defense or whether you're moving the ball downfield. They have looked absolutely sloppy when it comes to the communication, and it's just not working. eUnited doing a great job of challenging that little off timing on each play and getting the ball upfield. This is how you beat Space Station at this moment, especially with the sub. SSG just need to do better.
Tristan with a cute carry here out of the corner. Won't land. And Reynolds pops us up thinking about game 2 here for Space Station Gaming. The guys have to readjust. Dapper and friends will take game number 1 here for eUnited. And as we look towards Space Station to adjust, you know, what exactly do they have to adjust? We identified how eUnited were scoring by very quickly looking for their shot opportunities, very quickly getting down the field, not always scoring in transition per se, Spaceman, but not really the amount of time after possession is maintained to fall in goal is very small. So if that's how eUnited are scoring, how does Space Station answer that back?
Well, they're playing very one-dimensional Rocket League for both sides, and eUnited's winning that on the ground. We haven't seen the ball moved up to the sidewall. We haven't really utilized the backboard, and by we, I'm speaking as Space Station Gaming. So, number one, start using the air more. Bring the ball up towards the sidewall, move out the defense for eUnited so they can't challenge you at midfield. They can't challenge you for possession on the point of attack. Start working on those infield passes, even if Sathu has to be the back as a third man and just facilitate and take him out of the play on offensive. Do that. Because it's clear that eUnited is winning these reads that you're giving them on the ground. And more importantly, the decision-making needs to be more consistent. It's indecisive, and it's not communication. You need to be able to call out, say, no, I got the ball, I'll bring it out of the net. We're not getting that from SSG, and it's very easily read by eUnited.
that stutter step you have with a substitute, independent of the substitute skill, right? When you talk about a team, you've got two kind of metrics, your Madden score, if you will, just how good at the game you are individually. But then your team has like a cohesion score. And, you know, Seth, you could be a 99. Oh no! I really wanted that to land for Matthew. I really wanted that to land.
Oh, that's gonna be a goal.
Oh, that was the moment where you let the game speak for itself, and you know what? The game did speak for itself. It said, "No, thank you, Sathu."
No one else was there to follow up, though. F. Dot. That there's someone has to come up and just punch that ball away. That's an open opportunity.
You're not wrong. That's the fundamentals. You know what I mean? You know what it is? 99 times out of 100, that ball falls, and you can celebrate. That one time out of 100, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah, and
right
that's
there.
Again where you need that IGL in your comms to say, hey, like, you know, we're gonna move this play. I'm gonna go for the ball. It seems like at this moment, and it's not to harp on it, but it is just to point out the important fact that SSG don't look like they have that IGL in the comms. This might be it. Typical able to step up, reads the ball through the corner. That's the prettiest goal SSG scored so far, and it came at an opportune time.
It came from individual play, too. You see that Typical kind of sets himself up all the way from the backfield, tosses it against the wall, and finds the directive in there. And that's the nice look for Spacestation, because I think it's very easy to be like, you know, captain coach and sit here and say teamwork's always better than individual prowess. But I, in this matchup, disagree. I think, like I said, you're losing a couple of cohesion points, as a nice carry by Dapper is rejected by Reynolds. And so if your cohesion isn't there, Sathu's no slouch. Just say, play the game, bro. Just let the game come to you. Typical can do that. Reynolds can do that. And you know what? Sathu can do that too. So I'm sitting here, and I'm not saying never pass the ball after a dangerous drop down in front of eUnited's net, but I'm saying go for plays like that. Typical plays off the drop down, and Spacestation find themselves up 2-0.
Some great initiative by Reynolds, and that extra bump again. They come in with around 8 shots a game, and they have close to 4 in terms of demos per game. So the physicality is something that SSG used to do really, really well, and it was pretty unpredictable. Reynolds able to open up the kickoff with another demo, but yeah, sometimes you're a victim of circumstance, F. Dot, and just take that initiative and say, we're going to create some individual plays, possibly open up the field. Now it comes down to the defensive hold. Down 2 goals for eUnited. How do they respond? Slow shot, follow up from Tristan, and a great block by Reynolds.
3 slow shots, to be exact. Going through the motions almost.
Yeah.
I need to see a little bit more intent behind what eUnited is doing here. Is we hit the halftime, and Ajax, again, a little slow, a little low on boost there. Couldn't find the right angle. And so again, eUnited find themselves on the defensive side of the court. Typical with the turnaround setup for Sathu, sends it careening into the left field. One nice setup here for Reynolds. Dapper perfectly positioned for a punchback. Typical slows it down. 2 defenders here, and Tristan blocks it. And I don't know if Spacestation can really make anything out of this angle. Scratch that. Reynolds with a nice look, and there's Dapper.
This has been a beautiful mid-series adjustment by SSG. They're recognizing that eUnited likes the ground game, so they're using the ground game to move eUnited out of the net and into the corner, and then they sky the ball high, where you have the individual talent to be able to go up and meet that challenge. Reynolds going to do the same thing through the corner. As 2 players will come off, Ajax responds, but again, they're keeping the ball up towards the backboard. They're moving eUnited out, and when the ball comes back down to the ground, they maintain possession because individually, they are better than what eUnited has presented. Finally, eUnited cleared out of the blue half, but that was a good minute or so from Spacestation, even though it didn't lead to a goal.
Midfield, Tristan stops the clear, doesn't have the angle, 2 defenders there. Dapper turning around real quick, trying to get a better angle, but it's denied. 60 seconds, and eUnited scoreless in game number 2. Complete control here from Spacestation, and you know, it hasn't really come from a real dictation, so to speak. Just 2 real pretty looking goals on the other side, and sometimes it's disjointed like that. You know, this game is kind of a non sequitur. It just stings sometimes. as that ball goes wide, and eUnited stay with the goose egg.
I mean, it could just be boiled down to the simplicity of Space Station of doing a great job of just putting pressure into eUnited's half. Every time it seems the ball starts to move out to midfield, possession gets pulled away, and eUnited have to fall back and play turtle-up defense. Sathu keeping it alive in the cross to Reddles. I mean, that's kind of how this entire game's been. It's long, prolonged periods of offense from Space Station. You get a counterattack from eUnited, and then the possession goes right back to the blue half. Defenders are split out on the line. You get a quick pass downfield. It's very, very easy right now for SSG, and for eUnited, this has been an uphill battle since the opening kickoff. They just have not been able to figure out how to move out on defense.
You know, this is one that Space Station, or excuse me, this is one that eUnited don't necessarily have to feel really terrible about. I mean, you got beat, you know, typical, another one, sure. You can have seconds, man, absolutely no problem. But you know, if I'm sitting back and I'm like Coach Subban, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, all right, so they beat you individually. Like, we are the stronger team, 3 players here. And that's what we've got to focus on. So I think, you know, look for passing plays, sure, because obviously the offense is what's been neutered here on the United side as they fall 4-0 in game number 2. The necessary adjustments, I think, need to come from a little bit more team play on the United side, but you got to pay attention to these individuals. 7 shots on goal from Typical, and 3 of them land.
Yep. And that's going to be the story for SSG, especially with the sub and Sathu. You're just going to have to individually power your way through whatever opponent you face for the moment. And eUnited, opposite story. You need to kind of work on that team game. And again, maybe that comes through Dapper stepping up and saying, hey, let's start working the ball down the sideline a little bit more, and let's see if we can get, or at least match that physicality that that SSG is showing us. But quick little update, FaZe Clan lose to Sonics 3-1. Sonics move on, and they'll move on to the quarterfinals. But FaZe Clan now getting knocked down to the knockout gauntlet. So they will play, I believe, XSet.
XSet with some spicy plays there earlier in the day. Alpha Cat really stepping up lately.
They're looking hot. If you're FaZe, you'd be worried about that.
Tied at 1 apiece here. Jumping into game 3. eUnited versus the black and yellow of Space Station Gaming. And SSG with a real dominant game number 2. eUnited won, and they looked like the better team in game number 1. But in game number 2, I mean, eUnited put up, Space Station Gaming put up 4 goals. Yeah. All of them kind of individual pretty stuff, and did not allow a single shot to land for eUnited. Yeah. And so that's the more impressive game here in these 2 games. Ajax with a nice look, slowly but surely, and Tristan brings it home. 1 goal at the 4:22 mark.
As SSG won by pressure time, that's what you're going to need to do for eUnited. Continue to keep the ball alive on the opposite end of the field, win the battle in the lower third, and as the offense moves up, be ready to rotate out for a long clear, but always make sure you can rebound successfully on the play. Tristan does so, and take advantage of those small little opportunities you're given, because it won't be given often. A great response by eUnited in the start of this game.
Nice shot there from Tristan. Dapper going to continue it. Both players, however, falling back there for the boost pickup, so no opportunity. Ajax going to follow up. And a nice little bop there. And so it'll keep it a 1-goal game. Nice little offensive set from eUnited, but unable to really convert. And now Space Station on the other side. Typical going to keep this one. Looking good for Space Station. But they can't seem to find real possession, right? Like, location-wise, Space Station are on the good side of the field space, but they're not finding really much to do with it.
That's just a mirror match game, too. I mean, once you clear the ball downfield, if you don't have a solid hold on the possession, you're looking to win the transition. If you can't do that, then you just fall back to midfield and hope you can recover quickly. But, you know, again, the individual play right now for eUnited is keeping this ball alive thanks to Tristan, and he grabs the corner boost, so resources are depleted and limited for SSG on how they recover on defense. And this is, again, just a good way to slow the offensive power that SSG can bring. Keep them suffocated in their own half so they can't move down the field quickly and pick you apart.
Well, that's kind of what's been happening here.
It's literally just game 2, but flipped upside down.
Right? Just picking them apart. Eating the bones! Reddle's here. Trying to set himself up. Ajax flexing on out. And a real slovenly game. Slow, not necessarily sloppy, but nothing really put together like we saw earlier on. Nice angle. Sypical ties it up.
That's just a great shot from Sypical. And again, from the elbow, he's almost lethal. Like, this is a gimme goal. And just the read perfectly. Like, you have to be able to challenge him on the point of contention. And if you don't, he's going to put that towards the top bar, and you're almost guaranteed a bar down situation. So great job from Sypical to be able to move down the field and just, again, kind of reading that ball before it gets towards the net, being able to jump the corner and get such a touch. Another one followed up, but they won't get it. And Ajax with a very, very big clear down the field to give eUnited some breathing room.
If that landed, I was going to talk about the Rocket League gods, because we've seen a lot of bar down and outs tonight.
Sure.
So the unpopular result there out of our small sample size of today, but tied at 1 apiece, and we're trying to find a way to break this. eUnited started off the game hot, but then kind of gave Sypical an easy angle, and then kind of gave Sypical an easy angle.
Yeah, you just can't do this. You can't have all three up and no one hits the ball. If you're going to commit as an offense to the over-aggressiveness, you better make sure you have a touch there to be able to stall it in midfield. No one gets anywhere close. And Sypical, again, reading the challenge appropriately and splitting the defenders in the air. That is just practice and veteran experience that SSG will always have over eUnited.
I like the way Sathu plays this kickoff, but ultimately it winds up in the hands of eUnited. 2 nice shots, and both of them dealt with appropriately by Spacestation Gaming. The Space Station still up by 1 goal. That's sad. About 80 seconds for the eUnited squad to really play around with. More than enough time, as this team has proven, to really make this one a tie game. So in these moments, I find myself looking to Tristan and then finding out that Ajax is the guy. How about you?
Well, these are, I think, the more dangerous moments for eUnited. Sathu uncontested. Again, someone has to be able to meet him at the backboard. But these are the dangerous moments for eUnited because every goal up until this point has been a quick challenge on the jump. You read the play, you get in before the timing of the offense can rotate in. Boom, you score from like half field. That's how eUnited won game 1. That's how SSG has responded in this game. But you also have to make sure that you actually challenge the ball, something that eUnited has been struggling to do. And when you're constantly pushing as an offense, as long as SSG recognizes what's coming next, what you're showing them on the rotation, they can jump that timing and disrupt your flow. They've done that, and then it makes, transition goals like that where you can move downfield uncontested so much easier.
Gotta be a goal. Oh, blocked by Sypical. And that's the game-saving save. The reverse dagger. Give me a term here, because that save keeps it Space Stations. If that shot lands for eUnited, we have a ball game, folks. But instead, the clock will tick down from 5, and the tie will be broken. Space Station Gaming, as the ball hits the ground here, will take game number 3, and will be 1 away from knocking out eUnited.
And this was a big game for SSG because they showed you a little bit of everything that they were able to do on offense, right? You're able to pre-read a lot of the rotations from eUnited. You're able to jump the timing and disrupt the normal cadence that eUnited moves down the field with. So you jump in on the play, you hit the point of the attack, you move the ball out on a challenge, and not only that, you get a couple of long clears that eventually lead to goals. And also, when the play starts to slow down, you show that you can weather the storm on defense, move downfield, get a couple of cheeky possessions, and keep that pressure up to where someone like Sypical can move to the elbows and find a nice shot. So SSG showing you all the different ways they can score on offense, and it's a big game to show that Sathu could fit into this roster on a last-minute notice. But for eUnited, the series is not over by any stretch. Now it comes down to, can you consistently challenge SSG when they're telling you they're going to challenge you when you move down the field and take the ball away?
Here's my big question before we play our game.
Sure.
So technically, in the RLCS rulebook, Tristan with a beautiful angle, blocked by Sypical. Arsenal, if all things work out, could come back in this set. Sathu has been serviceable and scored a goal in the last game. If eUnited win and Arsenal's ready for game 5, do you bring him in?
I think the answer should, most people, and I think I would lean towards yes, you just bring Arsenal in because it's about limiting the variables at play because you understand what you will get, not that you don't understand what Sathu is capable of doing. But I'm actually going to go against my normal answer and instincts to say no, you leave Sathu in because you've already played 4 games with him.
Yeah.
Each game, and I understand what Arsenal brings, there's no question. We don't need to have that debate. What a
Insane bump!
But the fact that you've already played 4 games, why mess with things that clearly are not at this point broken? Just leave the nature of the game by itself.
I feel you. Rocket League's a rhythm game, man.
Yep.
It's like DDR. You got to just stay in the groove.
Sathu's not costing, so don't take him out.
Yeah, exactly. If he's sluggish, sure. And if it's game 2,
yeah,
I think you make the change. Game 3, I think you make the change. But if we go all the way to 5, and game 4, I would stick it as well. So
yep.
Sathu gonna keep on keeping on. And there's a case for him. Sathu off of a bad bump from Tristan off the wall and finds the goal. Space Station Gaming with the lead.
Those are one of those goals when you score, you kind of look back and you're like, wait, I got that? Because you don't expect the defender to roll over the ball. Usually it's underneath and that ball just jets to the ceiling. Another big whiff by eUnited on one of the defensive commits that, again, just getting a body in front of the ball would save you a goal in this series. It seems like that's kind of been a theme so far. Ajax taking it off the sidewall, flipping his way under, and Dapper goes for the dunk. But maybe a situation where you leave Ajax in a position to individually take that ball up, and then you have someone else ready and waiting.
Game 5 has been so much faster than the earlier games in this series, and it's been a fun adjustment. The problem is eUnited look a little bit sluggish. I say that as Ajax takes this one in transition, but Reynolds meets him midfield. Tristan sends it back. And Sathu does the same. A good setup for someone. Sipical drops it.
That's a goal if he hits that.
The goal. Oh, rough.
Yeah, that's literally a free, that's free real estate. If he hits that, it's 2-0. But eUnited on the brink of being able to possibly send this to Champions Field. Again, it just obviously comes down to the score. Can they find the goal? But to SSG's credit, even on defense where things sometimes look a little bit chaotic, I mean, how many minutes have we spent now in the blue half waiting for eUnited to clear it out just for them to quickly give away possession on the opposite end?
That's a fair question. Probably more than I can count. That said, eUnited have a good setup there. Angle goes awry. Reynolds with a carry. Space Station Gaming still on offense. Sipical brings it in front of the net. Sathu can't come from the left side, comes from the right side. Because of that, doesn't have the shot. Reynolds, again, setting up a mid lane player. But Sipical's back getting boost. So Space Station Gaming are really just trying to keep possession of the ball to prevent eUnited from looking for offensive shots on their end. They're not necessarily looking for the highest percentage shot space.
Right.
I think they're just looking to keep it trapped on this side of the field.
They're winning the second touch and third touch on each play, which again, it just breaks down the defense, and the defense is no longer thinking about, okay, let's get the clear in transition. It's thinking about, we just need to hold for a stop. And when you're constantly holding for a stop, the offense doesn't evolve over the game and you lose time on the clock. So yeah, this has just been about SSG saying we're already up a goal. Best case scenario, we score when we're in the blue half. If not, keep the ball alive and make eUnited's time hell on the field. There's a great transition and a goal for Tristan. And finally, eUnited breakaway of this stranglehold led by Tristan and Ajax on the duo.
Man, this one falls, but ever so slightly. And this is a good look because a lot of those shots, that's the same shot that eUnited have been taking all game.
Yep.
Okay? We've seen 5 shots on goal, and 4 of them looked like that. And they all went awry. Couldn't find the angle, distressed by the defense, or just straight up whiffing it. That one landing could be the catalyst for eUnited to go, okay, our play style, what we were looking for is working. Keep these pass lanes clear, and let's just keep on doing what we're doing. If eUnited do that, my 2 cents, they find themselves in a game 5.
Absolutely. And SSG have been clogging the lanes which made eUnited's job a little bit more difficult. Typical trying to bully his way into the net, but the ball still kept up, and that's the thing. Typical has no boost. He's able to grab the corner, so reinforcements and resources are certainly there for SSG, but keeping this ball alive is just a problem. There goes the bump. Dapper escapes it barely. High shot, big down. Sathu 2-1 might have just ended the series for SSG.
The substitute savior, Sathu, coming through, and with 16 seconds left on the clock, this could be enough to keep us out of overtime. eUnited in the kitchen now. Do they cook or do they burn? Let's see. Tristan turning on the flames. And the ball stopped up by Reynolds. One more opportunity here for Blue. They send it into the corner. Ajax answers back. Tristan here trying to keep it up. And all right, one more shot, boys.
You got to keep it up. Oh,
Just
someone that
what?
caught the ball. Oh, that's a center field pop fly. You need to call that ball and say, I got it. Oh, that's a horrible way to go out. But SSG, tip of the cap to them. Again, they kind of survived the end of that game. And should this go to 5, what would we expect? Who knows? But the pressure and the possession time was there for the entire series for SSG, and a series that they honestly needed and desperately needed to win, because that could have been a trap one and a very difficult loss.
Spacestation Gaming, not great looks. If you're an SSG fan, this is one that you feel really good about. Our team is deep, baby. Arsenal can't show up. Not only does Sathu show up and perform well, he scores a goal that winds up mattering in game. He literally scores the game-winning goal in game 4 here. That's your substitute, baby. Feel good about that if you're wearing a Space Station jersey. eUnited, unfortunately, fallen down a little bit. That's going to knock them out of the tournament. What are your thoughts here before we jump to break about Space Station traveling forward?
For them, obviously, and their fans, hopefully Arsenal's able to come back. But at this point, you ride the Sathu train as long as you need to. And I think that he did his job. He was facilitating, and when he had to pull up for a quick jumper, he did so. And he wasn't putting the ball high and out of the play. He was putting it towards the net, which it sounds oversimplified, but that's important. As long as your sub is maintaining a constant level of net positive on the field, that's all you need. So he did his job perfectly. If you're SSG, you're comfortable with him on the field now, and that's the important part. Comfortability means success down the road. Good for them.
Fantastic play out of Space Station Gaming here. They'll continue to move on. We'll continue to move on. We're going to go to a brief break. We'll be right back. More Rocket League after this.
Welcome back to the RLCS X start of the spring split for North America here on the Rocket Baguette stream. And more importantly, I am here with my boy Dazarin. And more importantly, it is NRG and Charlotte Phoenix. This is the second last match of the knockout gauntlet. And this is a situation I could have never predicted. Dazarin, how you doing?
Yeah, you talk about Charlotte Phoenix. Obviously, congrats to them for being able to make it this far. But going against NRG, I thought we were gonna have a trip down Rogue HQ with this one, Spaceman, not Mission Control.
Yeah, listen, bro. Now we're in your territory. Now we're in your scope. So listen, I need you to kind of break down for me. We watched NRG versus Rogue. We saw, Rogue didn't look that great, but they were able to just kind of move through the series 3-0. Is it? I have to feel it's just a slow day for NRG, and maybe I'm pumping too much in the storyline. But just based off what we've been seeing, talk to me. Have these boys been in similar situations before? And what you know of them, what are you expecting in this series?
Yeah, I do feel like it was probably like a slow start against Rogue. Rogue had a lot of space in their series too, and you know what happens when we get first killer space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just in your net all the time. Yeah, Jason. So seeing first killer and seeing Rogue really win that series, I mean, definitely looks good for Rogue. And obviously, going into Championship Sunday, they're trying to avoid the NRG matchup. But I think for NRG now in the lower bracket, this is obviously you understand the situation. Last chance for them. Need to get something going, and I don't see them necessarily losing to Charlotte. I think Charlotte is a team that if NRG aren't showing up, and it is really just a bad day for NRG, you'll see that in this gameplay.
Sure.
But I mean, from what we saw with NRG day 0 on again that Mission Control broadcast, and even day 1, I mean they look really good when they're on. That just wasn't the case.
Yeah, and a lot of people, obviously, for reasons that are understandable, have not been watching the Charlotte Phoenix team, and we've only seen them once so far today, but they 3-0'd 72 PC. It's not like a monumental accomplishment, but it is important because Charlotte Phoenix have been looking better, and Beastabonium has been pretty on fire today. So do I expect this to be a high-scoring matchup between both teams, like 6-7 goals a game? Are we going to game 5? Maybe not. Let's quell those expectations just a little, but Charlotte Phoenix are no pushover, and that can be said for every team that has made it to the RLCS to this point, and specifically who has made it towards the losers quarterfinals down here, because again, this is single elimination. You lose, you're out. And moving into the end of the knockout gauntlet, I don't like to say there's a lot on the line, but there's certainly some things to think about, because if NRG drop this, and many people would say it's just a one bad series, one bad weekend, but it is kind of important for Stan because you still have Rogue up top doing well. You still have G2 up top doing well. I'm excited to see how the series will go, and I want to know how Charlotte Phoenix will play NRG, a team that is far beyond their level.
That's really the big question, right? Big challenge here for Charlotte Phoenix. Obviously want to make sure they get the highest spring ranking possible, because remember, in the future, all after this spring regional 1, 2 and 3 go solely based on positioning in terms of auto qualifying spots in the spring split alone, not full world records, just the ones in this split. So having a good start, instrumental on success for the rest of the split, and I'm sure Charlotte Phoenix will love that. It's from the organization standpoint, picking up this local roster, and from the players. But right now, they got Squishy putting the ball top right corner. NRG start the series off with a bang.
He was the MVP for me in that last winter regional. I mean, this dude is just built different. And again, Squishy starting to get hot early. A couple of demos to open up the game. But NRG, a team that will take multiple shots per game, and they will bump you off the line consistently. It comes down to how Charlotte Phoenix want to play it. But off the kickoff, you're looking to maintain possession. Another demo by Squishy, who plays it into the corner, and Beastabonium with a decent clear out. Now you got to recover on that blue line.
Oh, look at those infield passes, though. Garrett to Justin really quickly. And NRG getting a lot of space here from Charlotte. Could be another goal. Delta gets the stop. Justin will play a 50 out. This will be Garrett coming up next. He'll be able to just drop that in front, but you got to be careful here because this is the pressure from NRG. This is a team that knows what that means and knows how to facilitate it. It's Charlotte struggling to get out of their own half, and that's going to be the big key factor for them. How do we move downfield? How do we get some goal scoring opportunities going against some of the best players in North America?
And they're going to pick you apart individually. Like, it gets so easy from Garrett. It's the simplest looks, the ability just to keep the ball alive. And I know it's a simple read off the sidewall, but Beastabonium has to meet that challenge. You have to meet the ball on the sidewall to take it away. Can't give NRG that kind of space.
Now up by 2, and here we go. Charlotte, this is where we need you to load in. A touch from Delta into the corner. And Garrett to Justin. Justin shot Bisaboni blocked out. And they're both sitting right on top of each other. But it's just that trust in teammates that lets them know, okay, I can drop this from Justin. He'll shove it in the net. That makes NRG just so scary to deal with.
How does the defense respond? They're getting stuck. Almost an own goal from Beastabodium. The clear there. But Justin with a backflip is still able to keep the ball up. Delta now going to keep it on the hood of his car, and Andy was circling in on the play, but the rotation starts to break down. Charlotte Phoenix desperately looking for some midfield control. It has not really been there for the start of this game, and Squishy's been taking the ball away and left up to Justin off the ceiling. Justin down, trying to extend, almost gets the second touch, but these little extra second and third touches, Dazarin, that extra opportunity is, again, how NRG will pick you apart, but you need to play a little bit better as a team on defense if you're Charlotte.
You talk about being picked apart. I'll point it out. This game is halfway over, and there are 0 shots on Charlotte's end. Meanwhile, does that count? Nope, that doesn't count either. NRG are sitting at 11. Looking for 12 right now off the back walls. Delta. But this is a huge problem for Charlotte if this is the tone set for the rest of the series. They have not been able to get out of their own half enough to even put a shot on target. This is disastrous. Bisaboni may be able to get the first. He does, and it's a save from Squishy. Delta follow up, but off the corner, and Justin will plop that over Andy. And Charlotte will have to go back to the drawing board with that clear.
You're going to have to look to keep that ball alive as well. The pressure time down the field has to be there. For NRG, I mean, you're just kind of playing with your food. It's like dolphins throwing around a penguin. You just got to keep it up. Andy with the clear in, and Delta trying to redirect, but gives it right back to Squishy. Ceiling pinch down. There's Garrett off target, but again, moving it into the corner. Justin has free real estate and roam to move. That's not an English sentence. Who cares? Beastabonium wrapping down to the ground and keeping this ball up. Let's see if he's able to have any possession, but at this moment, it gets taken away.
Ooh, Justin with the pre-jump there. Gets to the wall. Forces Andy to drop it for Squishy. Ball out in space. Andy has to wrap around it, and he does. But Garrett took his time for that challenge. And a minute left in game 1. It's been very quiet for the boys in blue. Only 1 shot from them. There's an open net, and that's all they need. Andy puts this within 1 for Charlotte Phoenix.
What an extension from Delta. Once that ball hangs, he immediately takes out Squishy. Andy wins the 50. And that's how you're going to beat NRG on the line, but you have to consistently do that, and that physicality has to start ramping up just a little. 54 seconds to go. Still entirely doable for Charlotte Phoenix, but NRG looking to hold on to the possession on the kickoff.
Yeah, they may not have had that many shots on, but the ones that they have gotten have been very dangerous. Garrett with a touch out. Want to keep this downfield for the remainder of the game. Let's see if NRG can do it. Delta. Oh, that's a strong clear. Forcing Justin to go up. It's to Squishy. Squishy clear out. Delta with the cutoff. Andy trying to get a beat on Justin. But this one will bounce off the midfield. Here's Delta. Solid touch. Andy pre-jumped. Actually bumped Squishy a little bit. Beastabonium trying to get around it. Can't find the top corner. Justin with the clear. Andy cut back to midfield, but it threw off Delta. Rotation a little wacky for Charlotte, but they have possession. 10 seconds left. Justin with a solid touch out. Beastabonium plays it high. Squishy, a whiff and down in front. Off the corner. Delta looking for the final shot. Can't get it. Ball will be grounded, and NRG takes game 1.
Still a little bit scary at the end, and if you're Charlotte Phoenix, you're feeling pretty good going into game 2 because you started to pick up the momentum, grabbing those corner boost starving NRG, and started to meet that ball a little bit quicker on your transitions, connecting on the passes, ramping up the speed and the velocity of each hit, and this is going to be a very interesting game 2. If NRG go up too low, this series might be done, but if Charlotte can respond, they can maintain pressure and lock down that resonance at midfield, this is going to be a very, very dicey game 2 for NRG. They have to maintain that confidence and overwhelming pressure on the opposite side of the field.
You know, it does look like they can get that pressure, right? We've seen them spend half the game on Charlotte's end. It just goes down to just doing it over the course of the full 5 minutes. That's really the big key factor here. You saw Charlotte start to break out. They definitely got confidence on the offensive end, and this is a team NRG shouldn't take lightly. As you can see, they made that one a 1-1 game and almost ended up even tying it. So we get into game 2. It's completely up to Charlotte's Phoenix to see if they can make the adjustments. We got the kickoff.
I'm excited, Dazrin. It's gonna be an interesting game too. I want to know again, how does Charlotte Phoenix elect to come off the kickoff? A lot of the times, the first minute or so will set the tempo of a game. I need to see them continue that same pressure and confidence on the challenges, being able to find one another on the opposite end of the field. Andy trying to clear the ball out, but Squishy again will try to set the tone early into the corner.
Beastabonium. Both him, Delta, and Andy, they've been a team for a very long time. Local was together before this season had started. And we've seen them have results against top teams before. And they want to get back to that result. Andy almost able to get that one past, but Garrett able to make a solid save. This one to Justin. No flip reset there, so he plays it low. Garrett just waiting, taking his time eventually. But he won't be able to play that around. So the slow play from NRG, they're just going to have to give up possession. Meanwhile, counterattack downfield. Andy redirect, but not on the top corner. Delta gets beat by Garrett. Follow up, and that's in the net. Garrett G, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can't commit everyone up if you're not able to win a simple 50. Garrett right over Delta, and the recovery on that play is just veteran type things. Moving differently today, Garrett G able to find the first goal, and that is how they will kill you. If you can't take the ball away, you can't keep it stalled out at midfield, you better have someone back.
That's such a great recovery. Yeah, right, you make a 50, your car gets launched into the air, you still have a good read on the ball, still keep boosting. Meanwhile, Beastabonium, he almost got a flip reset to the top corner. He's looking to shut down that momentum really, really fast. And there's Delta going for some bumps. Andy with a carry, but it won't fall. They keep looking for that top right corner. It's not working out for him. The ball just will not fall in that territory.
And that's one where Beastabonium just needs to jump the read. Everyone was clustering up for NRG. The defense wasn't getting the ball out. Beastabonium needs to have that decisiveness and just go for the hit. Delta with a little flip, but gives it back to Garrett G, and NRG will maintain possession before Justin extends. Justin in the 1v2 towards the net. Andy coming in for the challenge, and Andy will be successful in that attempt before Squishy reels the ball in off the sidewall. Flipping it down, can't bump, but Garrett G is there and keeps it up. Andy will take it out, and Beastabonium will intercept that pass, trying to bring it down the field over one, and Beastabonium able to tie it up.
This second touch, I knew he had it, but the speed right here, you see Justin kind of go up. Justin is in an awkward spot, but Beastabonium, the follow through there to tie up the game for Charlotte Phoenix, that's exactly what they're looking for.
Small plays like that, being able to stretch out the rotational defense and connect with one another. We haven't seen a lot of infield passes from Charlotte Phoenix, but the ones we have had certainly worked out. Now it comes down to, again, who's going to run point, who's going to be called up for that second man. Andy looks like he's going to answer the call for the moment. Keeps the ball up, but a little bit too hard on the hit, and the pinch just careens it to the opposite side. Squishy on the ground, but Andy with a great challenge as well, keeping that ball out of NRG's hands, and Delta will take it out.
Oh, there's the play. Andy just barely misses connection. Justin, oh, he's using all the boost there for that small touch. He's got to go back. And he'll actually get the ball for free once again. What's he going to do with it as Delta creeps up? Good challenge there. I almost called Garrett Gary. He can't get a read on that.
Take a moment to yourself.
I need a second.
Garrett G, opposite side, puts that one towards the net. But for the moment, Charlotte Phoenix, again, still holding on to a tie game. 2 minutes to go now. 180 seconds on the clock. What do you do with it? Delta off the ceiling. Andy flying in. Ball would have gone right of the post. Justin cherry picking downfield. Goes for the fake. Almost works out. And Charlotte Phoenix now have to recover. Here comes the transition. It's Delta on the ground. Delta with a swing around towards the top corner. But a great save from Squishy. Keeps this game tied.
Beastabonium still looking for a press. Garrett G able to make the stop there. Squishy now.
Oh, God.
That's an open net. And that's the lead for NRG. Just seemed like Charlotte hit the full house and no one was home when NRG came knocking.
Not that Beastabonium would have done much, but I think he either locked or half ruled one with someone, so he's out of the play, and then no one was there to rotate back. So again, those opportunities, you look back to the first goal with Garrett G, what he was able to accomplish on the recovery, those are those long distance goals and those mistakes on defense you can't give up against NRG. You've been doing such a great job, and Andy takes it off the ceiling on the kickoff and says, tie game, I'm coming for you.
Beautiful work. One to get the mid boost. Look at that. He drops straight down. He saves his dodge. He baits NRG to thinking he's doing a flip reset, dodges straight down into the ground, and then gets the pop-up right over the defense. Beautiful solo play from Andy. Charlotte are here to play. 1:22 left in game 2. But this is looking like anybody's ball game.
Every time the ball moves to the corner, I get scared, and there's the cross. Almost. Gets it to the upper 90. Garrett G centering, but Justin grabbing that corner boost at midfield. Garrett flipping it up to Squishy. Squishy has the right idea. Squishy has the right mechanics, but Andy has the better save. And Garrett back in on the play will center it high in the box. Justin strike down, a little bit off target, but NRG putting a lot of numbers onto this offensive hit. Finally, it looks like Charlotte Phoenix might be able to get the ball away.
Ball straight down. Delta picks it up. Beastabonium almost got a demo on Garrett. Delta over one.
Ooh.
Soft touch. Garrett's going to slam that downfield. Good read from Beastabonium. Straight to Delta once again. They get to play it off the back wall. It's a slow game in the final 30. But it really does come down to who gets that right drive. This may be what they need for Charlotte. Off the back wall. Justin. Beastabonium 50-50. Once again, he plays it into the corner. Has Andy. Andy shot Garrett. Gets a read on it. Charlotte. Oh my goodness. The pitch straight to Squishy. Now he's going to try to carry it. Possession change, back and forth. Final 10 seconds of game 2. Garrett G, not to win. Blocked out. Beastabonium plays it to the side. Left, right, and center is the ball, but it will fall. And we have overtime in game 2.
That pinch either works or it doesn't, and by doesn't, you get scored on. We go to OT, and NRG certainly have more than enough time to be able to take this game, but for Charlotte, you have to maintain long possessions. The pass to Justin, he misses the connection, and Squishy crosses it right over the net. But here comes Garrett G in the back line, able to flip it up. Beastabonium reeling the ball in. Who's going to give away possession first? Charlotte Phoenix able to take it out, and a good clear for Charlotte.
Now Justin popping that into space. This is just to buy NRG some time. That's a good clear, though, from Andy to Beast. Ends up testing that back wall, looks for a demo, but Garrett remained patient in net. NRG on the counter. First, they got to get this one out. It's a double demo. So a slight 2v2, but Garrett completely bumped out the way. Beastabonium in the air. So is Justin. He's playing it low. Good read from Justin. Garrett will pick it up. As NRG try to move downfield, Charlotte has been there to contest in the midfield. But again, overtime rages on. 1 minute's gone by.
Keep an eye on that rotation for the third man for Charlotte Phoenix. I'm worried about them overextending as a team. And Justin's just going to do Justin things. He's going to keep the ball alive, but that's when you start getting a little bit greedy and saying, we're going to go all the way through as a unit. Andy is there. Beastabonium rotating back, but the midfield boost is grabbed by NRG. Garrett G trying to keep the play up. Delta with a great center. Is anyone there for Charlotte? Beastabonium late on the rotation, but still center for Delta, and the challenge almost go his way. Garrett with the redirect, and Garrett able to find the back of the net in OT.
Garrett moves downfield, has no boost, then picks up the 100 and just lobs that one right past Andy. He had no idea it was coming. And from that play, NRG put the series on match point.
That is so hard to watch if you're a Charlotte fan, because you did everything right in that OT. You did absolutely every single thing right on transition. You just got beat by a better player. And sometimes that is esports. That is literally it. You just got beat by someone who was better on the read, and Garrett G is not going to miss an opportunity to put that one towards the net. There's nothing you could have done. NRG now up 2-0 in the series, but what a game 2 from Charlotte. This one is not down and out by any stretch, but it just, that is one that just bites you in the back.
One takeaway here is that Beastabonium went for 3 or 4 different demo plays over the course of the last few minutes and into overtime, but he never actually got the bumper demo. He always was so close, but just missed. I think really what makes Rocket League really exciting is if he hits one of those, we have a completely different result here.
Yep.
Charlotte are that close into playing right now against NRG. And I mean, we go into game 3. This one, it really comes down to, okay, backs against the wall. You're going up against one of the greats in NA. What do you do when you're in this corner? So we'll see what Charlotte have as we get kickoff going.
And the nice thing, well, I say nice, but currently you're down 2-0. The nice thing that most teams have against upper level, top 2, top 3 pro teams is there's a lot of VOD on them. There is so much that you understand about how they play, or you should understand. And for Charlotte, maybe you come into this series and you can't do stuff like that. You can't double commit and not even touch the ball. That might be the backbreaker of this game 3.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Not the best start there for Charlotte. I'm trying to. I couldn't get the camera angle. I just know they both bumped into each other, and then Gary had an open net. So I think that one was confusing for everyone. I almost kind of wish they could redo the kickoff, but they can't. It's live. So that was gonna go into the corner. Charlotte will try to see if they can get things back under control. They are moving the ball downfield pretty fast here, and they're gonna really want that back.
I mean, with what their situation is now, oh God, Garrett's just styling now. You just, if you're NRG, you just play for ball control and you just kill the time. I mean, yes, you got 4 minutes, but for Charlotte, you need a complete recovery act on defense. You need to move out, start gaining possession time, and keeping the ball out of NRG's hands. Andy thinking about that exact type of scenario. And Delta's going to rotate in on the play to beat Sponium, cut off by Justin. And maybe now you start thinking about keeping the ball on the ground, because every time you've gone for that pass at midfield, Justin has taken it away or Garrett G has met it in the air.
Love that clear from Delta, but Justin able to get on top of it, gets a flip reset. It doesn't really do anything. Delta just waits for him to finish and then gets a clear downfield. Beastabonium was playing mid, and Andy almost got dusted by Garrett. That was a close chance. Squishy and Andy battle for the boost. And Squishy jumps off to pinch in middle, but Delta's there. Shot blocked from Justin before it could even get in front of the goal line.
Great shot from Andy. At least lets the ball kind of jet its way towards the middle of the field. Numbers are here for Charlotte. Andy crosses in, but I think he got bumped off on the rotation. So still, you have a chance. Delta, all you on real estate.
Reset. Squishy able to get that block out. Now Garrett will move downfield, but I like this consistent offensive pressure we're seeing from Charlotte. It does show a good sign here. Remember, they are only down by 1. And really, NRG didn't have to work for that first one. Ever since then, it's been kind of all Charlotte just trying to control the reins of this game. They got to make sure it doesn't get away from them, as Garrett was trying to get a 2-goal lead that would have almost been decisive. Andy, high ball, Beast, follow up, that's in, tied up game.
It was only a matter of time. You could tell they were just kind of setting up the pretenses of this specific goal. Andy, a little bit high, but it was perfect for Beastabonium, who rotates in right behind single file. Tied up 1-1. Charlotte Phoenix recover on the mistake earlier in the first 15 seconds of this game. And now we have a real game 3.
All right, will we see a game 4? I don't know. Garrett in the air. Follow up, double. Oh my God, he's one of the best. Guarantee.
Goals speak for themselves. That's one of them. It's 2-1 for NRG.
I got to put the grid bias away, man.
Hey, you got excited. I love that.
That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. I did not think he had that read. Good work from Garrett, though. NRG up. But Charlotte still have a chance. They just got to make sure not to give NRG the ball in space. A tough question, Andy. Almost scoring that one. Justin with the save and a clear downfield. Still 2 minutes of gameplay here in game 3. And Squishy, he'll slide in a 2-goal lead for NRG.
Sometimes this is about like trying to hold back a snowball, and then sometimes about holding back an avalanche. And these are one of the days where the snowball starts in game 1, and it's just a little bit too much now. After that goal from Garrett, it seems like the mountain started to become that much more steep. Charlotte have not been able to maintain a systemic period of possession time. They are struggling on kickoffs, and NRG are in the driver's seat of taking this series 3-0.
Justin on the ball, just blows past Beastabonium. Bumps Andy. Garrett, top corner, blocked out from Beast. Off the respawn, he has to defend a top corner shot. Very well done. Now he has to move upfield on offense. NRG looking to close this one out if they get one more goal. Garrett playing it low. Off the corners, Delta. Justin has a read on that. Squishy up so fast. But it goes off that crossbar. Now Charlotte maybe has a chance here. If Andy, he's being swarmed right now by NRG. And that clear out is going to kill so much more time as we approach the final minute of gameplay.
since that tie. I think that was the first shot we actually saw from Charlotte. It just has been quiet. And again, what do? You're getting demoed at midfield. You're getting demoed in your own corner. You can't hold on to the ball. You're getting boost starved. They're playing faster. They're playing better. They're playing smarter. It's just one of those, you know, the cachet of NRG is going to beat you most times. This is one of them. Charlotte had put up a ridiculously good fight in this series. But as the series starts to close out, that's when the personality of teams really shines. And NRG, I'll hold on. Never mind. They're probably going to take this one 3-1 with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, they need to play this drive into the corner. Beastabonium, Delta waiting in midfield for the ball, but it doesn't look like it's going to be there anytime soon. Andy doing it all on the solo play. It's off. Beastabonium looking for a chance there to try to throw it to Delta. It's a cross. It'll go off the corner. Back in the midfield. And you got to give props to Charlotte Phoenix. They put up a tough fight. Oh, Squishy.
Squishy, what are you doing? Justin?
He has that.
Oh my God.
NRG taking it 3.
Oh, man. Well, little doggy bag goal for the road, but at the end of the day, Charlotte Phoenix, up until the very start of game 3, I mean, this series, even at 2-0 lead, it felt like Charlotte were starting to figure out some stuff. They were starting to figure out how they wanted to play through on offense. They were working through the progressions a little bit better. But as soon as that own goal happened in game 3, and even on the tie, NRG felt like they were just an avalanche waiting to happen. And they will move on. They will move into, I believe, tomorrow. But still, just a very, very, you know, structured, competent, normal performance from NRG, what we expected. For Charlotte, I think this should surprise a lot of people because Charlotte certainly played very, very good Rocket League through 2 games.
Yeah, you know, I think for Charlotte, although this is not really the way they want to go out, I mean, for them, it was definitely a close series all the way up, like you said, until the last game. Then it just got out of control. Just those little things, though, to work on. And I feel like that series could have been so much more closer. I think overall, this is kind of a good start for the spring for them. I want to see, again, more. They were just so close to making top 8 into playoffs. Maybe they can do that in the next split. They just got, you know, to go back to the drawing board. But besides that, great performance in groups, great performance in that first round against 72. Now, again, they stop here, but I don't think this is the last we see of that team.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I would love for them to stick together because I think that the ceiling is much higher than what many would have expected. And they should feel pretty good. Even in that loss, they should feel like there is a future here with this roster. But until that actually happens and until we're ready to see what they could do, we're throwing to a commercial break. And when we come back, the final match of the day for the knockout
Sathu in place of Arsenal, as he's still having internet issues, and they've got a battle against the KC Pioneers, who maybe for the Pioneers, Daz, this split is a return to the form they had in the fall.
You know, I can see that being said. And for me, with KC Pioneers and with the road that they've been on and the changes that they've ended up making, it does seem like they need something to work for them. And it does honestly come down to how they show up here in this series. If you lose to SSG with Sathu on the squad, now keep in mind, Sathu is kind of balling today. So he's showing up. But that being said, with not their full strength here, if you lose out to SSG, it does beg a lot of questions to be considered. But I mean, you know, SSG haven't lost yet today, and I don't think they want to continue that path.
You know, maybe there's something to this. You know, Roldiz gets on a show, and all of a sudden, he's on one of the best teams in the regional. Sathu, he hosted a round of grid overtime when I had some problems. And he did fine there, and he's done fine today here. 3 goals on 9 shots. That's pretty solid in the first match that they had to win. That's against a pretty tough eUnited squad. Now you're up against the Pioneers. Who knows what you're going to get out of them? I don't know. There might be something to this. Sathu having a little career resurgence in 2021.
Could be possible. I'm definitely ready to see it. Safi getting back into the game, subbing in for SSG, subbed in the last series, and they won that one, and now he's here playing against KC Pioneers. We got the best of 5 on your screen. Last match of the day here on the Rocket RB stream to see who is going to play top 8 tomorrow.
Typical will try to start it off for SSG. Again, winner goes into the top 8. Loser only can wonder what might have been. It's still a tough roster on the side of SSG, as eUnited found out a little while ago, and as the Pioneers almost found out, as that shot whistles just a little bit wide. Rapid takes Typical all the way to the back wall, but that puts him right in position for that ball, though he completely whiffed on it. So now Reynolds will have to take over, and does so, buying his team a lot of time, putting them in position to succeed, but Typical got pumped into the air. 2-on-1 now, open beast mode, didn't follow Rapid, does not matter. A flick over top, and the Pioneers are in front.
Yeah, out of all that huge jumble, the biggest thing to come out of it is Rapid gets a piece of the ball, flicks it over, and now KCP start off with the first goal. SSG got to connect a little bit more when they're moving upfield on offense.
So Rapid, nothing flashy or fancy there. Just puts one right over top of Reddles. You know Reddles is going to want that one back. He's going to want to get back at Rapid and the Pioneers. How quickly can he do so? Typical will clear this away. Sathu will take the corner boost underneath Sip, and that'll leave Sip in kind of a tough spot as South has to go for this. Second touch goes right out to Memory. Rapid up the ladder against Reddles this time. Reddles beats Rapid.
Yes,
this is still loose though. Memory, nobody's home.
And there you go. Beast mode with the play out. No one home. Memory open net. And these are some easy goals getting let in right now on the start. KC Pioneers up by 2 early in game 1.
Well then. Tell you what, this Pioneers team, they started off so great in the fall and in the winter. I think they would even agree by their standards for sure. They were not good. They at times didn't look like an RLCS team. Certainly not the form they had in the fall. Still time to turn things around and get that form back. And a big finish in this spring regional, that would propel them a long way. Beast mode, popping this one out. That's going to hit Rapid. Boy, they are moving much faster than we've seen in recent months.
Meanwhile, SSG on that counterattack looking for a way in. Demos are coming out here. Almost a good read from Reddles. The Rapid just jumping for that one. Infield pass, Sathu to Reddles, and Memory able to make the save. It's going to be his 3rd one of the game. 5 total for KC Pioneers. SSG looking uncomfortable in game 1.
Here goes beast mode. A lot of possession for the Pioneers Another drop down in front. Sathu and Reynolds almost collide. Now Reynolds looking for a big booming clear, did not get it, but this will still end up on the Pioneers' end as they maintain control. Rapid trying to set anything up, and Reynolds will not give him the rebound he's looking for. That's a good clear out. Reynolds putting a lot on his shoulders here, trying to do a lot of work, carry a lot of possession. He's going to need his team to help him out here. Got the demolition on memory. He's got Sipical practically on his tailpipe, though. And so even though he's just bulldozing his way downfield, the team didn't follow, neither did the ball. Instead, it ends up back with him in his own corner.
Yeah, slow start here for SSG. Even though, you know, Reynolds can force his way through. Doesn't seem like people are on the same page. Reynolds plays this one up front. Good off the sidewall. Sipical takes that corner boost, so Rapid's low. Sathu looking to play that in midfield. Is someone there? It's Reynolds. Trying to play that behind Memory, who gets a piece of the ball. But again, Rapid will play that high. Reynolds will look to get that into the corner. The time ticking down for SSG in game one. They need a play here quickly.
This is looking very similar to how XSet closed out game 3 against the Knights, just keeping possession on one half of the field. It's like it's a downhill slope down towards the space station net, and Rapid hits the double to just about put this game out of reach.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the finisher there. KC Pioneers take game 1 into their own hands after SSG let it kind of slip through their grasp. A minute remaining. And at this point, I think you just got to start playing for game 2.
They need to get the ball on the blue half of the field. Just to prove to themselves they can. They finally have. Sipical waited a long time to finally get that shot off, but it wasn't on net. And now beast mode to Rapid, just missed him. But it'll be of little consequence with a 3-goal lead. Sipical trying to get this back to Sathu, get the sub involved. Again, he had 9 shots in the series win over eUnited earlier. Rapid, redirect, and this pinballs around off defenders, but will stay out. So Space Station at least keeps it at only a 3-goal deficit, as Sath was trying to hit Sipical there. And you like actually what you're seeing out of Space Station at the end here. Just try a few things, see what happens, see if you can get anything to work. Practice these plays now. Maybe you'll go back into the bag of tricks a little later on and try to pull out the same trick.
Yeah, you know, for me, SSG, again, it looked like Reynolds, like you said, was really instrumental in bringing the ball upfield. And Sathu filled in where he could, but I feel like it was a very quiet game 1 for Sipical, just not really in the right spots. And I mean, as a player where a lot of us expect, you know, you talk about star players on a roster, Sipical is one of them from SSG. It just seemed like he had a really rough opener in that game. So now looking at this one going into game 2, I just really want to see kind of like more cohesion between SSG as a whole. Because at this point, KC Pioneers don't really have to do much. It's not like they're playing around. Well, technically, I guess they are playing around SSG. SSG aren't necessarily making it, making it pretty easy for them to do. Yeah.
Well, it's a new game, a new start, new beginning perhaps for Space Station in game 2. They got to get something going here. Again, still best of 5 with Championship Sunday on the line. Sipical going to try to take over, but Beast Mode is up to meet him. Two of the exciting young stars in North America doing battle. As Rapid now will pop over Sathu. Sipical at the back, got a piece of it. And Reynolds unable to continue to play downfield, so Pioneers might be right back on the attack unless Sathu has something to say about it, which he does. Now here goes Beast Mode. Well, how much boost does he have? Reynolds finally forced into action, and Sathu with a good clear out beyond the center line.
Play out into the side, but definitely a better opening here from Sip. It's that control that you see from him that really can get past a lot of players. Let's look at him. He moves upfield, able to lead the charge here for Space Station Gaming. And now you see KCP. It's not as easy as it looked in game 1. Definitely have been some adjustments made, and even with all this pressure that they have right now. Beast Mode finds a way through to get the first goal.
Pioneers score first again as they just keep it going. Beast Mode right through 2 defenders. Well, you cannot give him that look. Somebody's got to have boost. Somebody's got to get up and get in the way. Nobody did, but a chance out on the ensuing kickoff. Reynolds over Memory, snipes the corner, and we're tied.
He won't quit. Off the kickoff, ball to the side. See you later, Rapid on the hood, and he's putting it top left corner. Tying goal for SSG.
Boy, that is huge. It could not have come at a better time for Space Station. Just a few seconds after. Okay, hello. Well then.
Yeah, blinking and missing.
Yeah.
But,
Nice kickoff by these 2 RLCS professional level teams in North America. Exactly the way you draw it up as a coach. Here goes Sathu. Gonna burn all of his boost, and Beast Mode's all over, but didn't get the clear. Sipical's gotta rush back, and Beast Mode is gonna chase him the whole way, and Sipical with excellent concentration made the clear. Now Sathu is gonna be forced into the act, and he will get another decent clear, but Memory's right there. Sipical ran out of room on that back wall, but still got a cross, and Rapid played away from Beast Mode. Pioneers getting a little antsy there. You can sense that they smell blood, but they still have to keep their cool here. This is not going to be an easy walk in the park against Space Station.
yeah, you can see Rapid. He's being one of those annoying guys you see in the ranks who just won't get off the ball. And sometimes that has a good effect. Other times it really throws off team cohesion. But it looks like Beast Mode has a good read as he slots in another one. KCP regain a lead.
Regain. That's exactly what the Pioneers do. Able to bounce back, and Beast Mode, a little fortunate that he got a kind bounce off the far side. They'll take it 2-1 before the halfway mark. And Reynolds this time going headhunting after the kickoff. Still up for this. Got Sathu waiting. Trying to slow play around. Clears the runway, and Sathu walks it home.
Reynolds pops that up. That's 1, 2, toodaloo. Savvy with the open look, and there we go. Tied up game for Space Station Gaming.
Oh, a little combo shot out of Reynolds. We'll take those. All square. Again, off the kickoff. Every time they've been scored on in this game. Reynolds has made the play. He's got another demolition here. He's going after Beast Mode. Forced him up to the wall. They got Memory. He's just spawn camping at this point.
Yeah, at this point, look at him. You need someone to step up on SSG, and Reynolds has been that guy. So far in game 1 and 2, he's been lead in points, but he's also just been a playmaker. And when you lose a player like Arsenal, you need someone to kind of also fill in on that role. You can't expect Staffy to. So if anything, the guy who's been playing with him the most, Reynolds, needs to do that. He's doing it so well.
Typical here, blocked by Memory. Sathy just skies one out, hoping a teammate would be there. Instead, it's Rapid. Reynolds leaves that for Sip. Memory and Beast Mode both up for this. Fortunately, I don't think Beast Mode burned a lot of boost to get there, and he will have the clear. And all of the boost on the Pioneers' end belongs to them for now. Rapid catches a full boost on the way back, so they'll be all set. It'll be tough for Space Station to starve them out. Even tougher to get possession. That one touch from Sipical might help, but Memory is there. Launching one right back in. This will fall to Memory. Bouncing shot on, saved by Sipical.
Ooh, redirect there. KCP not done yet. You see these counterattack plays, and SSG have to be a little bit careful on the rotation. And Sipical looking for that left corner. Minute remaining. SSG has some pressure, but KCP looking to turn it around.
Sathu goes right through Beast Mode. The problem is Rapid's there, looking for a double, doesn't have it. Memory now, launching one netward, and Reynolds is right there for it with 45 to go. All knotted up in a crucial second game, especially for Space Station, trying to avoid going on elimination point. Reynolds got the boost, avoided Beast Mode, but Rapid takes over. Beast Mode did his job. Sipical now, blocked by Memory again. Pioneers have controlled the center line for the most part. for the better part of these two games, as Sypical barely saved that one, and Reddles will clear downfield. A brief reprieve for Space Station. Maybe it's all they need, but what a clever touch by Beast Mode.
Bump into a 50. Rapid plays is slow. Oh, they're looking to set up overtime. Sypical. That's a high ball. Memory looking to take the shot. It's a pinch straight down. Game 2 going to overtime.
Well, this is a far cry from game 1. Game 1 was absolutely one-sided. Game 2, it has still felt like the Pioneers have outclassed Space Station, but 2 big plays out of Reynolds have kept them in it. Sathu, blocked by Rapid again. Thrown in front for Beast Mode, and Sypical's got the clear. Memory circling around, trying to get control. He will, but he'll also get the nose of Sypical buried right in his face. Here goes Sypical again. Trying to set up Reynolds again! No! Sathu not able to turn for it. It was going to be a tough angle. Opted for the safer play with the boost. But it is a missed opportunity for Space Station, and now they've got to regain.
Yeah, I like the boost still, though. They're trying to starve out KCP, look for an easy way in. Memory at an awkward touch. Beast Mode was a little bit far forward, so we know this is SSG's ball. But now it comes down to who has boosts and who's positioned where. This one goes down to the minuscule plays. There's a minute and OT passes by.
Memory hasn't made his presence felt much. Does have a goal and an assist, but he's been relatively quiet. Especially in this game, Sathu, well, they're going to be without Beast Mode on this attack, so that's not going to work out. Sypical going to meet Beast Mode. Goes Memory, trying to make his presence felt on the defensive end, starting the counterattacks for the Pioneers. Good safety net at the back for KCP. Is Sypical now looking for a big booming clear. Instead, he centered that. That is incredibly dangerous, and Beast Mode made him pay for it. Oh, that is not where you want that ball to go.
Gets away from Beast Mode. Sypical's out. I mean, it gets away from Sypical. He runs out of boost. Beast Mode able to pick it up. And man, if you're an SSG fan, you don't like that ending, but KCP fans love it. They are putting this series on match point.
It didn't matter in that case if they had Sathu or Arsenal or Justin. It does not matter. That ball goes right to Beast Mode in that spot. That is a goal every time. And the KC Pioneers are 5 minutes away from a date on Sunday.
Unbelievable. It looked like SSG could have walked away with this game, but now they're in a tough spot. Down 2-0 in the series to KC Pioneers. Again, these mistakes that are happening, you just don't expect it from Space Station Gaming. KC Pioneers are hungry. You can see them all over the ball, especially when they're on offense. They're taking advantage of everything they get. So for SSG, you really have to be, this is why we haven't even loaded into the next map yet. They are making sure that everything is, you know, as communicative as possible going into game 3.
Look, Beast Mode is awesome. That is one tough nut to crack. If you are Space Station Gaming, they don't have an answer for Beast Mode. They just got to try and match what he's bringing to this matchup. We'll see if they can. Reddles has tried. Sypical may have to be the next one to try, or maybe Sathu's got to put on the Superman cape. We'll find out. Sypical gonna dump this off to the corner, and Rapid beat Sathu to that corner boost. So Moostarv is on now for the Pioneers. Looking to score first again, but Sypical made the stop. They're not out of it though. Memory, tough angle, and it just goes across the face of the goal.
Rapid going up, being a nuisance in the orange half. Here's Beast Mode though. You talked about him a bit. You have to be concerned when he's playing in form and the shooting's good. He really is Beast Mode in that moment. But that's a big miss, and Sypical almost gets on top of it. SSG need a goal here early in game 3.
So Memory putting one in front again, and 2 defenders go forth. Able to get this ball away for now. Rapid and Sathu run into each other. It'll be Memory now. Blocked by Sypical yet again. This is headed towards the Pioneers net, but Sypical was out of control. Could not get 4 wheels on the ground, and Reddles will easily guide this away from Rapid.
Look at Memory. Solid touches. Sathu in that corner, though, has to be careful. That's a good bump. Typical just removes beast mode. Rapid last back, and it'll be right under the bar. Free shot. Typical can't get it through. Oh, man. SSG, it looks like sometimes they can't even buy a goal. Reynolds will take a shot. Rapid saved out again. As Typical top corner, blocked. Everything they're throwing at KC Pioneers, nothing will fall.
Must be using some kind of mod that just blocks off the entire goal. There is nothing to shoot through at all for SSG. The Pioneers defense has been stifling. Rapid did not opt for the corner boost. Went for the ball, and Beast Mode shot is blocked away. Here's an opportunity for Space Station, who need a game. Well, they need a lot, but they need a game to stay alive in this tournament. Rapid now. Blocked by Sypical. Got the demolition. Got to score here. And Sathu doesn't. He missed near side. Reynolds won't get there. And it's another goal out of Beast Mode.
That is unbelievable. Everyone upfield, net wide open, no one scores, and Beast Mode slots it into the other open net all the way on the other side of the field. You cannot let those chances go by, Stacks. SSG did, and they got punished for it.
It is DreamHack Dallas all over again. Yikes. Still 2:20 to go. Reynolds going after Rapid, going after Beast Mode, getting neither. As here come the Pioneers again. Memory with a laser.
And KC Pioneers turning up after getting that momentum downfield. Memory waiting, and he slots it through the SSG defense.
2:14 to go in SSG's tournament life as the Pioneers are closing in on a top 8. And a lot of other teams in NA are kind of looking around like, uh-oh, we got a problem on our hands. Remember, this is a team that won a 12-minute overtime earlier today, the longest in North American RLCS history over G2. Typical will have that popped away. Here go the Pioneers again. Beast Mode did not get the double. Rapid ended up in the Space Station net. This has to be a chance for SSG to break out. Got to score on this drive downfield, and Beast Mode just wags his finger and says, not today.
He's not letting anything through. Minute 30 left. And as much offense as we've seen SSG come out with, and as many shots they've put on, nothing has fallen. Reynolds could demo the whole team, and they still come up empty. But, I mean, talk about KCP, though. Not only have they been able to be dominant on defense, the offense from them has been stellar. Beast Mode, Memory has put on great shots. Rapid's been able to just completely throw off SSG's defense from just going for these crazy challenges when not turning off the ball. KCP have just been a thorn at Space Station Gaming side.
Rapid got a second touch coming from the ceiling, but it is blocked away by Sypical. 45 seconds remain. Space Station, not a lot to cheer about in this one. Memory had that popped away, and Rapid still got a piece of it, and the ball's going to stay in the zone. Again, shades of XSet closing out the Knights earlier on this very stream. Memory throwing another one into the corner. Down to 25 seconds. This ball at least breaches the center line. Reynolds, he expected Rapid to be all over that, and Rapid just pumped the brakes and just waited for him to burn all that boost. And that is how the Pioneers have dispatched Space Station Gaming, unless they've got a miracle comeback, and that's going to be Sathu. With 8 seconds left, they finally break through.
Reynolds, play out. Sathu just has to add a little bit of juice to it, making sure it goes in. This kickoff, very important.
Reynolds has been awesome on kickoffs. He's the first man up this time. Sathu's got to boom this away. He does so. Sypical down the middle. Reynolds is there. That may be too far for Sathu. It is. And the Pioneers are back in form. Top 8 bound tomorrow.
KC Pioneers Weather the storm, again, sub or no sub, they came out and played fantastic versus Spacestation Gaming. And for me, I like what I saw from everybody on the field, Rapid especially, again, all over the pitch. Then you have Beast Mode coming in, slotting in shots when he needed to. All around, well done for KCP.
So the Kansas City Pioneers join a host of other teams that, of course, already qualified through the upper bracket. In that top 8, they join Rogue, Envy, the Sonics, G2. We just saw NRG punch their ticket. They've got the Sonics in the quarterfinals tomorrow. And what is it for the KC Pioneers? I believe
they play G2.
They go.
Oh, wait,
they get
no.
G2. No, I think they get Envy.
Yeah, Envy.
Boy, oh boy. It wasn't too long ago. We were watching the Pioneers. As bad as they were in the winter, they were still able to beat Team Envy during the grid. Take it for what it's worth. I think this Pioneers team might have a little something up their sleeve as they continue forward here in the spring. And hey, what a time to actually get that form back. They're only 140 points behind G2 in the standings for that 6th and final spot at Worlds.
Yeah, now, you know, look, this is going to bring in a lot of different conversation points here, because you talk about teams that made it into the top 8 with Sonics and KCP. And now especially even looking at like the V1 Ghost series too, as that's happening, you know, a lot of chances here for the top 6 in North America to completely be shaken up. A lot of teams playing incredible Rocket League. You talk about Sonics with the upset against FaZe earlier on in the day, and even looking at this series here, as well as Rogue with the sweep on NRG. There's so many different, you know, results to kind of look through. There's a lot to talk about, and we'll really find out, you know, who's the best come tomorrow to see the conclusion.
We had a lot of sweeps today, as you saw on the as we recap all the knockout gauntlet results. In the upper bracket, you had a couple of sweeps, surprising sweeps, with Rogue beating NRG, and then of course NRG taking care of business against Charlotte. Sure, you expect that. Even with a sub, though, you would not have expected Space Station to get swept by the Pioneers. You would have expected that to go, you know, 4, maybe 5 games. This is still a very tough duo with Sipical and Reddles, and you know, Sathu is still a pro-level player, but it was KC Pioneers that would not be denied at all. Beast Mode, as I said, I think going into game 2, maybe 3, Beast Mode is awesome. And when he is on this kind of form, people need to start thinking about maybe including him in that top 10 discussion, because the Beast Mode we saw today would start on a lot of different teams around the world.
Yeah, you know, seeing Beast Mode actually really find his form has been something that KC Pioneers have been looking for ever since the fall really, you know, came to the conclusion. After that, it did seem like it kind of fell off, and then we saw a lot less of Beast Mode. So it's really good to see him starting to play up and get that kind of confidence back on the offense. We'll see how far it takes KCP.
Well, that is going to do it for us. We thank you for watching the Rocket RB's coverage of the Verizon 5G Ultra Cup. It's all mainstream from here. So we'll sign off for now. We'll see you next time around, as it is, I believe, EU coming up next over on the B side, and still more to come, of course, over on the mainstream. You got FaZe Clan fighting for survival. I'm totally unbiased. Go Peeps. We'll see you next time.